目は覚めたか、それともまだ夢の中か。
Oh. Ibuprofen streaming hours. Obviously daily reset has happened, so we can go through that. Can click through all of our things. Click through all the things. Fuck. Yep.
Doctor.
Unless I'm doing stream and dreamt of Tara. I feel like that could be either a nightmare or a good dream. Though based off of yesterday, at the moment, still a nightmare. I got suddenly RA music. Because the music actually changes, you know. Yeah, it's early stream today. And we'll try and finish in like 3 hours. And it really depends on obviously how much we have left to read still, but we're halfway-ish. And yesterday we only ended up reading... we ended up reading for about 3 hours, I think.
Doctor.
Ooh, summon. I didn't click it. Also, I know that there's something very cool on the first one. Topu operator. We YOLO it. No tag. Full YOLO. Skipper. Breeder. Sassy. Old man? No way. Old man. Actual dupe. Oh, first one. Yes, I know it's not a fucking... It's not a kernel token, are you sure? Bastard. What the fuck, like, damn, that was a lot of, I just realized most of it, over half of it was discounted. What the hell? Ah, boop, boop, boop. I have a little coffee left. Being a new player, getting hit with that kernel message every time. Yeah, it's like, what the heck? Maybe as, I don't know, maybe as a new player, you get I think you get a chunk of like free rolls for kernel, but yeah, it's a silly message. I mean, I kind of get why it's there, but it is like 99% of the time completely useless. Iced coffee. Homemade. Homemade ice of coffee. It was a good dream, aka granting miracles. At least. So true, Keltip. So true. I guess we can just go in. I'll finish my coffee as we go. Oh, I can get... Let's get our last dupe. For dog. Also, yeah, no, we have just woken up. I did wake up like 2 hours ago. A bit more. Not much more. Please bring me to the other red dragon. Other than that, I asked for nothing more. But the only thing I still have left from yesterday is indeed the sore tongue, which is probably some kind of mouth sore, and it happens to just be on my tongue in a very annoying spot. It's not like a huge amount to do about it. Even if I got like some kind of mouth sore thing, I think it would be hard to get it on my tongue. So we're just tanking it with ibuprofen and mental diff. If it Rhodes kitchen skin levels. What does this mean? The Rhodes Kitchen, the manga? The comic? It's a loud lobby, as usual. Oh, the KFC one? Oh, yeah. You mean the skin? Or was there a figure of it as well, actually? There might have been. The KFC one. Chicken Ifrit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've seen the KFC skin. Thank you for the sub, Cubic. Thank you, thank you. It got bugged? Okay, oh, there's a there's a bug on it? Is it on the... Has it been posted somewhere? I do want to see this. Is it on, like, the Reddit or something? Oh! With the engine upgrade, they finally updated some of the image quality of some of the older operators. No way. Less pixel. I don't see anything about Ifrit yet. Oh, Yase Tomare. Let's not just put raw Twitter onto the stream. Who knows what's in there? This is not the right person. At least one more pixel, right? Okay, there we go. That's the actual person. Let me find this. Oh, there's a lot of... Surprise. Would you be surprised that Yase Tomara would retweet a bunch of boobs and thighs? What the fuck? Lore accurate Diablo or something? That's terrifying. That's scary. This video? Oh my god, it moves. Look at her eat chicken. My god. Terrifying. What the hell? Scary. If it became monster. Not the character. That's what happens to you if you eat too much KFC, okay? Thank you, Cubic. What did they do to Ifrit? What happened? It's too much KFC, man. Actually, wait. I remember. Where did we leave off? I need to remind myself where we left off. What happened at the end of here? I'll just read the summary.
Once there was a red dragon of pride who snubbed all
Take the deceased out of
talking only to herself in the mirror from.
Oh yeah, they were going to the Wakeman. Yeah.
Once at Samhain.
They're going to the Wakeman. Wrong place. EA5, thank you. There we go. And then try to remember how to pronounce all the fucking Gaelic. Keeps scaring me. True, yeah. If it was in your lobby, imagine that thing. A bit of phlegm in my throat. Okay, where's my mouse? There's my mouse. I was like, what the fuck is my mouse? Was that another trick of the shadows? This isn't the right way. I'm going in circles. Can't see the sky. How long has it been? How far do I still have to go? Well, I'm in the dark woods at least. The mist and noise Bridget was talking about didn't keep me out. Tricky Fae. Shadows pointed the wrong way. Foul beasts that trip you up with branches. It's all more or less the same as when I was bringing Morin and the others back. Trees are too tall, the leaves too thick. Block out the sky, making the life here different from outside. Also, yeah, the Fae are indeed just real. It's very casual, like, yeah, the Fae. Not that it's strange. Arknights world. Makes sense. This is the right path. I'm at the heart of the dark woods now. Scenery seems different from before. Where did the red and gold of autumn go? It looks a little dead, yeah. Why did it look like this? There we go. The black mist? Oh, there is a mist. Whoa, fog. So the woods are rejecting me after all? Lokshini grabs her weapon tightly. If Nemos was right, and Dublin never returned after leaving the city, they were most likely swallowed by the mist. It shows no signs of aggression, it simply lingers. Does it reject me? No, it's closer to indifference. Disappointment? Why? There's no answer except the rustling of leaves. Lokshini shakes her head and cautiously goes around the mist, choosing a path that looks like it has a light at the end. The mist remains indifferent to her passage. The Fae that delight in leading travelers astray are nowhere to be seen. Black silence. Wrong game? Another dead end. No time to waste here. I'm sorry, but I'll have to burn a way through. You're overthinking it. Who's there? Oh. The guy. Take a guess. How could it be? You're the gentleman from the city. I wanted to ask you something, but you... Indeed, hardly the most amicable of partings. Since then I've been following and watching you for a while now, considering my way of reflecting on myself. I'll admit you're not quite what I thought. This is no time for small talk. Do not burn the trees. It should be enough to illuminate them with your fire. See for yourself what they really are. It's the event mechanic. What they really are? The leaves are razor sharp. The brambles are hard and the branches have a metallic gleam. What is this? It's not important. What's important is that your fire can't burn through it. They're metal. Now follow me. Hurry, before the black mist changes its mind. We can talk later, but if that thing is in a bad mood, there won't be anything left to bury when it's done with you. Isn't that a dead end? Why do you put so much faith in what you see? Just listen and move. It's true, it's the Fae. You should maybe not trust your eyes. This is the path I took when we came to Nasirshi. So this is where those trails lead? If you don't mind me asking, are you and the Forest Fae... Don't be ridiculous. I have nothing to do with them. The woods know. Centuries have passed, but it's hardly changed at all, other than the black mist. Ruins the view, really. At least he can still do some quips. We'll be out of the dark woods soon. Now could you... This is really... What's happening? Look behind you. Read! Read, we're here! Them? The refugees appear on the well-lit edge of the woods. What happened in the city? It's like the black mist got angry the moment you entered it, cutting off from the outside. It's been days since anyone went into the dark woods. A few people were hunting on the outskirts when they heard sound from within and saw what looked like fire. Whenever something similar happened before, the wakeman told us not to approach the woods. This time, though, we recognized your fire. We could hardly ignore it. You shouldn't have come. It's dangerous here. Then you shouldn't have either, not on your own. We all learned our lesson about letting you go off alone after waiting for you in the marshes outside Londinium. We trust you, so please, trust us back. Thank you. You're welcome. Let's go back to camp. Sir, would you... Disappears. Who are you talking to? Is there someone else with you? The red dragon turns around, but her uninvited companion has already vanished without a trace, like the dew under the morning sun. Thank you for providing refuge for these people. Nemos entrusted them to us, we simply did our part. On behalf of the Wakemen, I promise that we will not reveal your existence to anyone unaware, and you have seen with your own eyes that your people are safe. That it's time for you to leave. What do you mean? Is she not welcome here? Neither are your people, Morin. Whenever two red dragons meet, endless conflict awaits. If you insist on involving yourselves in it, then we can no longer offer you sanctuary. How could you? This is how we've always been. The Wakemen neither start nor end conflicts. The dispute of the living are not of our concern. We watch over only the souls of the departed. If you're truly the noble and compassionate leader Morin imagines you to be, you will not drag these innocents into your battle, Red Dragon. This isn't a battle between two red dragons. I came to seek your help on behalf of the people of Naseishi. Every battle has its reasons. It's not an excuse. Reed wouldn't do that. Excuse or not, the disputes of the living are none of our concern. A hard-learned lesson whose bitter fruits we continue to taste to this day. Now leave. What if I'm here to ask you to hold a funeral? A funeral? In that case, the Wakeman will welcome you, but for that, and only that. Now tell me the name of the departed, their deeds in life, and present the remains. His name was Cullen. He was a blacksmith. Cullen? How did he die? Oh, she recognized Cullen. The purple flames of death took both his life and his will. Not even my flames can help him now. Flashback. Then why is it that not a single denizen of Naseishi has come to us to request a funeral since the city became independent? One-line flashback. So it transpires that the first Naseishi to be moored since the end of the war was not taken by war at all. Alright, well yeah, they wouldn't indeed. No one would be coming around for funerals if they're all undead walking around. So I move the straw into a ring like this? Yes, then adorn it with these flowers, and the wreath is complete. I remember when the farmers put a wreath on your head, praying for a good harvest next year. Feels like old times. I missed that. Are you not happy here? I'd rather enjoy it myself, but the others might find it stifling. Life of a Wakeman is almost like self-punishment, after all. What's the word for it again? Asceticism? Funky word, by the way. No alcohol, no overeating, no fancy foods. Can't even laugh too loud. They wake up before sunrise and sleep after midnight. Everything in between is some ritual or other. They don't sleep that much, do they then? Sleep midnight. Awake sunrise. Sunrise could be like 6 a.m. At least they don't expect the same from us. There's no avoiding them when we have to help out on the farms and stuff. I've practically forgotten how to laugh. Huh. Warren is the only one who goes out of their way to talk to them. She's learning something new every day. Might be how they tie certain knots. Might be how to estimate the age of a tree. Compared to the Wakemen in the tales, though. Also, they have like this funky thing on their like belt. This almost like hologram thing. With a very Celtic knot-looking thing. Your Highness? Ma'am? I didn't expect to find you here working with them. Rita's always been like this. Should we excuse ourselves? No, I simply came to confirm the facts of the departed's life, for the purpose of the ritual. Please, tell me, what happened to Cullen. I will tell you all that I saw, as I saw it. I hope it makes you feel something. Makes you feel something. Loud lobby? The Wigmen do look cool. Also, that their mask thing is clearly it's just like a, you know, a Taran thing, because they also have a mask that looks very similar to the Dublin soldiers as well. Okay, banana. I've already dismissed all the servants of the Citadel. These footsteps, then. He's back. Your Highness. Ah, it's you. Did you need something? You aren't going to ask how I returned? No, I won't. You came back, and that's all that matters, my loyal servant. Besides, I have a fairly good idea what sort of guest you can bring me. As the curfew started, oh, the mist, just now, then he could say that my orders have been followed. Failure. Almost for the shadow. Failure? Masayirsh is here. I am here. What failure? Oh, is the mist speaking? Escape. The deadline is Sowen. Surely the Black Mist remembers this, even if it's hardly known for being a good listener. Unsurprising. Disappointing. Unacceptable. Am I meant to understand something from these few words? Or perhaps you too prefer the directness of arts and destruction to the imprecision of language? No sooner do the words leave Eblana's lips than gleaming branches thrust forth from the dark mist, reaching for her throat. At the same time, her spear penetrates the thick mist. Purple fire is faintly visible from within. She could burn away to nothingness with a thought. But the branches never find Eblana's throat, and her purple flames never ignite. Sowen. By the time the sun rises on the day after Sowen, the outcome will be plain for all to see. So, why don't we dispense with these meaningless buffs? Eblana's spear still impales the mist, but the branches before her throat disappear a moment later, as do the flames at the tip of her spear. The dark mist dissipates. Your Highness. You're still here. Did you need something else? Is this about Dublin? There are only two of us here. I'll permit you to speak that word again, my most loyal servant. Thank you, but there is no need. Spectres are but spectres. If they help found a nation, there's no place for ghosts in the history books. But I worry about my colleagues who stayed behind that day, as I did. Where are they? Could they mean you harm? No need to worry, and if there were, that is no reason for you to risk staying here. I saw a scene of chaos on my way back. It was bedlam. People were fighting over the tiniest things. Sometimes nothing at all, while others seemed to be stuck where they stood, like statues. Just like the spectres who fought the Victorians with us. But they fade into darkness too. This is Masayirsh, the Red Dragon's lair, capital of Tara. Anything that happens here will have repercussions across the nation. No, it won't. You don't sound convinced. Your Highness, at the end of the day, I have just one question. One question I pray you will answer. Very well. I will forgive your imprudence. Your Highness Eblana, that future. The future you promised Dublin, you promised Tara. The future where all Tarans could freely write their own dreams. Was it all a lie? Brigadier cannot stop himself from trembling. The fear that had lurked in his heart for days overcomes him. It is not because he fears his own end. He's not afraid of being swallowed by the dark mist like his colleagues, or of invoking the Red Dragon's wrath. He fears that he will hear an answer he dare not consider. It was true, every word of it. Your Highness, I've answered your question, Brigadier. Her face was looking extra sussy there. The Red Dragon's voice seemed ethereal, feeble even, but it leaves no room for questioning. It is the voice that has led the man to victory countless times, and so he slowly straightens his back. Then I trust you. Perhaps you simply have no other choice. Often have you chosen a path that seemed baffling, impossible even, but it always ends up leading us closer to our dream. Of that I have no doubt. Such deep trust is indeed worthy of my gratitude. However, I do not require you to main order within Nasairsi. If you manage to return from the Dark Woods, then you should return there now. Until Soin has passed. Until Soin has passed. Or... I stepped into the Dark Woods one morn, calling to the mists of horror. Your Highness? Do you hear the song coming from beyond the woods? Hardly a day has passed since you left. Fine work, Lakshini. Oh, she smiled. How he died carried a huge dragon statue across the city. Yeah, that didn't help at the very least. Is that what's been happening in the city? Reed, your sister, what is she planning? I don't know. Someone once told me that her plans would only ever be beneficial to Tara. Now, though, I can trust neither her nor the one who made that promise. Who was the one who made that promise, even? Still not going to help her, Wake Woman? She came for a funeral. We'll only accept her for that. I've learned the deeds of the departed. Bring the knots and wreaths and come outside. The funeral is about to begin. People set aside their differences and stand up in silence. Oh, new image. I stepped into the dark woods one morn, calling to the mists of horror. I trod upon the road heading out to war. No pipes a singing nor battle drums a roar. Only the bells behind me through dew and fog their rings do soar. The wakemen sing softly, each attending to their own duty. Some adorn the coffin with knots and wreaths. Some lay firewood and kindling around it. Some distribute candles to the attending refugees as they continue to sing. Tiny lights begin to sway throughout the camp. Lakshini has a candle too, which she carefully lifts in front of her chest. Excuse me. Go ahead. I didn't know the departed and don't really have much to say, but where I grew up, people talk freely at funerals. Certainly, this is how Tarans honor the departed. Life should be celebrated, even after its end. Joy of the living is consolation to the dead. You are free to talk amongst each other. I also made some snacks. Please feel free to share them. We will also provide refreshments later. Refreshments. However, we must request that you exercise restraint, considering that Mr. Cullen died before his time and under unfortunate circumstances. We must also ask you to follow our instructions during the fire returning ceremony. Understood? Is this how your folks hold funerals, Morin? We didn't have all these rites and ceremonies. All we did was keep watch through the night. No clue what this fire returning thing is either. Guess we just follow their instructions. The banner named Return from a Pyre. Have you ever been part of a ceremony like this, Reed? Shakes head. I see. You mean, Lakshini has found the wakeman. The hero's funeral has begun. I stepped into the dark woods one morn, calling to the mists of horror. I trod upon the road heading out to war. Do you know this song? You already know the answer. I led the young into battle with it more than a few times. Oh, here. Bozo. Who is it? Who's singing? Why is it that I still hear that song here at the side of the old capital, even after escaping the Dark Woods? Oh, he got out? Fuck, they're not dead? Or am I still stuck in the woods? Oh no, the sound is coming from the furnace at the center of the ruins. Such a beautiful tune. No pipes a singing, nor battle drums a roar. Only the bells behind me through dew and fog their rings do soar. I should go back. Now I see what I truly want. Besides, do I really deserve to escape Nasirshi? No, go away. Just go away. We don't need you. Go away. Here, Emma, today's bread. Thanks for sharing your food in times like these. Your feud. You shared it with me before, just returning the favor. But why do you keep staring at the bread in my hand like that? Control yourself. Control yourself. He's hungry. She's Emma, the one who shared bread with you. You must help her. You must I'm fine, Emma. I just meant to say you've been bedridden for so long. There'll be tough times ahead. No pipes are singing, nor battle drums a roar. Why are you singing that? Someone's singing in the distance. Singing real loud. I'll say the singer. Who's singing? Friends of the departed, please present your eulogy before the fire returning ceremony begins. Read. I have a eulogy here written by Nemos. May I read it? Of course, go ahead. Dear Cullen. A letter? Cullen, perhaps it won't be long before I join you. Letter sound. Cullen, perhaps it won't be long before I join you, before I become a slave of the purple flame, before I turn to ash. Perhaps there won't be anyone to free me from an afterlife of eternal torment. But I've never forgotten what you said to me. You said you wanted to be a hero. You asked me to let you become one. You said Nasair, she needed a hero for the post-war days, one who belonged only to us, neither Dublin nor soldier. You said that nearly everyone in the city had lost something important in the war, be it a partner, a child, or a future. Without a hero, an exemplar, to understand them and fight for their rights, one who would also set them right should they go astray. Without that, they won't have anything to hold on to when the war ends, when they have no one left to hate. I agreed and assented to your request. You took Theo in and helped the people who'd lost their livelihoods. You thought everything was on the right path, and so you proposed a statue. You became fully immersed and took on a great burden. By the time you realized, it was too late. Now it is my turn to carry this burden. One too heavy for any single person to bear. Farewell, Cullen, Slanley, or should I say, San Gofoil. May we meet again in the warm flames. As she finishes, a flame is thrown into the kindling surrounding the coffin, igniting the firewood. The crowd gathers around the bonfire, following the instructions of the wakeman. Witness that the departed has found peace in flames. You shall no longer wander the mortal realm. Place your candle as close to the fire as possible, or throw it in directly. Return the fire to the departed. If you have anything to say to the departed, say it aloud to the flame, be it praise or reproach. They are the memories that will console the departed at journey's end. Once you have returned the fire, please remain to keep watch over his soul until the fire has gone out. Let us begin. Slanleet, may you find rest, stranger. Deceiver and hero. Morn bends down and places her candle by the fire. The licking flames swallowed in an instant, almost burning her hand. Do you want to come closer to the fire, Reed? If there's anyone here who doesn't deserve to pay respects to Cullen, it would be me. You couldn't have saved him. Morn? There's no place for him in the Red Dragon's lair from the moment he made the choice to truly become a hero. You should return the fire to him. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Let the dead rest with our memories as life goes on. Return the fire. Let the dead rest with our memories as life goes on. Facial change. No way. While Lokshini is lost in thought, the others continue to return their fire and then sit down some distance from the bonfire, until she is the only one left with a candle in her hand. She walks forward in silence, and tosses the candle into the blazing bonfire. The dead are gone. All their ambition, obsession, realization, and desperation turn to fading smoke and silent ash in the flames. Take my coffee glass away. Fucking lobby music loud. Well, that was before or after, right? We go next. So you won't go to the city, even to perform a fire returning ceremony? What you've described is highly unusual. You cannot simply take your word that the residents are no longer among the living. Besides, the fire returning ceremony is just that, a ceremony. Do not expect it to be anything more than that. Very well then. You may return to Wakewoman. Thank you for your help. You intend to go back to Nasairsi, even without us? Mora and the others have settled in well. I've done what Nemos entrusted me, so my work here is done. Take care, Your Highness. I will. The Red Dragon sets out in the direction from whence she came. Everything that happened yesterday seems but a distant shadow now, but also a tiny spark of flame. Return the fire. She did get to seem to get hung up on that one. Have you made up your mind to go to your death? Stranger? Good timing, sir. May we talk? If you will help me. So Reed is thinking, oh, do I have to return the fire? But is it Blana also thinking the same thing? Oh god, oh, not this. Did your Red Dragon history lessons ever teach you about a poor wretch by the name of Lapriatach? Or however you said it again. Excuse me? I'll take that as a no. After returning to the palace for the first time in years, he never even had the chance to see his brother before the guards took him away and plunged a sword through his chest. I know the story. Why are you so eager to follow in his footsteps and have history remember you as a fool? Leave. You've seen your sister and you're still alive. In that, you've already achieved more than he ever did. The story of the exiled king and Ailil is not the story of me and Blana. Fine. Let's say I was willing to hear you out. What do you want to talk about? The city's fire returning ceremony. I just wanted to find someone to help with the preparations. But you seem to know a lot about the history and tales of Tara, so I was thinking you might be able to help. History? Tales? I can talk on the way. Come. He died 600 years ago, though, so he doesn't necessarily know what happened after 600 years ago, you know, after he died. But that's not the way to the Dark Woods. Just follow me. Worked out for you in the woods, didn't it? This guy does have a cool design, though. The ruins of the palace? I've been here before. It's dangerous. The original rich environment is... First mention of a Reginium in the entire event, by the way. You said you wanted the history and tales. What better place in Tara than this... ancient Tenge expletive place? Better than this damn place. Palace. The what palace? She didn't recognize the swore. Ah, never mind. I appreciate your help in the woods, but I have important business to attend to. I don't have time to... And what's this important business? Dying for nothing? Sure, you're different from your sister. The dragon's flames may be cursed, but her personality is as typical as they come. Arrogant, leaving no room for any other voice. You may be better, but I'm different from my sister. She's not who you say she is. But however different you may be, conflict is in the nature of the Red Dragons, even if you were merely dragged into it. There's never one outcome. Only one may emerge alive. One of you will die, sooner or later. So what's the hurry? Have patience, young dragon. We're almost there. We come here for this altar. Altar? I mean, that thing in the middle? Isn't that the furnace? The furnace which fused together the weapons of every Taran soldier and overturned the fate of the dynasty. The furnace from which fallen soldiers were reborn. That's what you call it today, isn't it? Far more important than just another altar, to be sure. But an altar is an altar, even if it's a little bigger than the others. It was based on the ceremonial stone circle used to coronate the King Gale, and the palace was built around it. Whenever an old red dragon died, this is where the fire was returned to them. the fire returned? When you saw back at those Woodbrains camp, gotta give them credit, they managed to remember all that, even centuries later. Fire returning wasn't just about a bonfire back in the day, though. By the time the old hag migrated, it was enough for the siblings of the heir to the title of King of Gale to put their hands into the fire and get a few blisters. Go back even further, though, and those siblings would have been burned alive together. Or so they say. There's no hard evidence. Now you've gone even paler. He flicks his hand and a speck of purple fire flies forth from his sleeve, joining the same purple fire in the altar. The flames breathe quietly, like an infant in its mother's embrace. Your flame is purple too? No, wait, you're a Draco. Could you be... Awfully slow, aren't you? Well, it's too late to run. Put your hand in. What? You wanted Nasair to return its fire, didn't you? Put your hand in. The red dragon falls silent, then stretches out her hand to touch the flame in the furnace. As expected, it is not warm, but to her surprise, it does not feel cold either. Now, I brought you here to see something. The tragedy of Tara, the ill repute of the red dragons. It is simply the cruel cycle of fate repeating itself, again and again. Like your sister, I was an aberration that breathed the flames of death. It is not my intention to disrespect the dead, nor could I even if I wanted to, but wanted to show you the fate of those who die upon this land. Oh, is that what it is? Tenga is its ancient tongue expletive? So it's just an ancient expletive. It's an expletive in an ancient tongue. Also, yeah, Reed was a little slow, you know, with the realization. Is this where we should begin? Understandable. Of all recent event, it is the most significant. My sister was right. Those who have touched the flames of death are beyond help. The fire should not have spread so readily. What hatred did it take for the Dracos to once again sire an ill-omened aberration, the first in 600 years? Oh. Ah, and him. If you ask me, he slept in far too late. Could hardly drag himself out of bed by sunset. Of course he became the sacrifice. Even you should not speak of the dead so lightly. Do not justify it as a sacrifice. You can only say that because you've seen too little. Those feelings will pass soon enough, once you're used to it. See, here comes another sacrifice. It could have just been ancient Taran, yeah. The Victorians who killed you have been chased out. The last Victorian bastard died before my eyes. In a sense, your sister's dream did become reality. The Tarans have risen, and the Victorians have fallen. Simple, direct, satisfying. Were you one of the bystanders too? Don't get caught up on that, child. You know what I am. Oh. The aura farming CG. This I don't recognize. Explain. It was a war. There are always wars. Be specific. Who did she incinerate? What land did she set her sights on? Victoria. Ablana wanted to take Tara back from the Aslans. This was the conclusion to that war. The Aslans? Those conceited bastards? Is she not facing a Sarkas? He's also confused, like, huh? Never mind. The Lions were the ones who stole Victoria. That's all I need to know. Also, she didn't even manage to burn the Sarkas, you know. I don't need you to tell me what this is, just as I can tell the expression beneath the mask. Satisfaction and joy that only appear on Red Dragon's visage in the face of certain death. No, that wasn't joy. It was the opposite. The opposite? Maybe you were simply gravely injured and started hallucinating on the brink of death. But as I said, this is simply repeating the past. Cities may ride on wheels now and the master of the realm has changed hands, but what's inside never changes. Okay, he knows about the cities on wheels. Oh wow, Jesus Christ, this is from Firelight. I was like, wait, what is this CG from? What is this? Your home? Or did you learn to point your blades at each other? Who's this man? The Earl of Warwick, our foster father. Blana said he helped Tarn see hope. Hope they could see but never reach. That all he ever did was drive thirsty travelers mad with mirages. Oh, it's also Tenge in the CN text. They just... So it's not Yostar, it's Hyperglyph. Yeah, it's probably just... I guess that's what they chose as the name for the ancient language. I mean, they do that. They'll take, you know, a more generic word and make it like the thing for the whole concept. In his hand he held a delicate thread. On one end were the Tarns who had rediscovered their name, on the other lay the oppressors who had trodden upon them for so long. That thread was my sister and I. Looking back, perhaps he was the first to be afflicted by the purple flame. They were already dripped out back then. Not only do you sympathize with your sister, but you also know her well. No wonder you are so loath to kill her. But I have no intention of becoming like her. Or will I simply allow myself to be killed? These events, this history had me recall. What are you trying to tell me? And the history of Tara is nothing but the continuous accumulation and recombination of ruins of the past. What you have seen, I have too. Nothing new can be found within. What I see are not ruins, but the source of the flames. The flame in Nashairshi are indeed my sister's fire, but they're also the great sorrow behind the bloodshed, left with nowhere to go. It was the war, no, the pain, the oppression, things taken from them, which began long before the war. That's what lit the fire in their hearts. My sister shaped their sorrow into hatred, which scorched the fields of Tara and drove out the Victorians. However, without vengeance to cloak the sorrow, the same fire has come back to burn them, burning away everything they have, until they are nothing but the walking dead. Fine summary, child, but do you really think that returning the fire would solve all the city's problems? It's the only path before me. True, but how do you tread it? Come, we've seen your story, now see mine. Ancient Tenge? Don't cry now, it's just a cloud beast. But I raised Greyclaw from when she was a baby. They say your fire is different, Daidi. You don't really heal the living, but instead bring the dead back to life. Is that Dad? Daidi? They don't come back, it's just an empty shell. Even if it's just an empty shell, please, Daidi, I just want to hear Greyclaw's voice again. And so the impulsive red dragon let his daughter's plea get the better of his judgment. After a few months, strange things began to happen, not just to the cloud beast, but to all the beasts of the pasture. Burden beasts no longer ate grass, sister beasts no longer gave milk, the old refused to die, the young refused to live, and bare skeletons devoid of flesh began to roam the pastures. As the purple fire spread through the herds, the red dragon was forced to leave the pasture with his people. He made the same mistake many times throughout his brief existence. Purple fire spread through the herds? What about it? Your own dear sister dared to burn people with that same fire. Now that's crazy. How was the fire extinguished? We'll find out soon enough. This is the Citadel in Nashairshi? That same corridor? No, but your mistake is understandable. You simply took a large step back in time. This is how the palace you currently stand in looked 600 years ago. It's incredible how stonemasons centuries hence managed to perfectly recreate it in this Nashairshi of yours. So what happened here? Here? Ha. The king getting exiled? The exiled king, the fool had made too many mistakes, the likes of which you have already seen. He grew weak and felt his end coming. I'm not even going to try and read that anytime. On the eve of Samhain, he came to see the brother he had not seen for 20 years, bearing the finest gifts his nomadic life would allow. He even convinced the druids of the city, who oversaw the festival ceremonies, to take him to his brother. Touched by his familial love, they led him into the city. But he failed to realize when his guide's silhouette, voice, and demeanor changed, not until it was too late. He was taken to this very corridor and... Ooh, goodness. Whoa! It's a little more graphic than what we usually see. I doubt that Eilil, who gave the order to assassinate his brother, was on that balcony on the other side of the door. For my eyes were wide open until the very end, but I never saw his fire through the gaps. Where did it all go wrong? Was he angry that the priests continued to treat me as royalty? Did he consider me leaving without a word 20 years earlier a betrayal? Or was it someone else who wanted me dead, and he simply had no choice? I'll never know. Within this brief, swift act of violence, there was only one thing that I had long known, that I had never doubted. A red dragon never forgives. The hatred of the dragons is even longer than the history of Tara. Damn. Yeah, we usually don't look at quite as graphic of an image. Wicked. Oh, hey, Roddy is now there. Also, you could have gone both. You could have gone wicked as well. I think it's capitalized, the wicked. There's more I want to tell you. It's wicked. Also, probably not, but like this kind of little line of fire right here, I think it's just like a wisp from all the rest of it, but it is like in the almost exact same spot he was fully stabbed through. After I died, Eilil ordered my coffin dragged through the city for all to see the end that befell me. And so purple fire raged for every pasture I had stayed at with my clan. Life turned its back on all who touched it. Only death remained. 7 days later, the priest returned my fire to me at a clearing outside the dark woods. And only when the fire they returned to me was extinguished did the purple flames in the pastures begin to subside. It was only then that the last vestige of my consciousness that remained in the flames after death faded into darkness. All living things that touched the flames, people or beasts, were turned to ash. Your sister spoke true. The flames will continue to spread as long as she lives. But she's a typical red dragon. She's not so noble as to give up her life to save those who have yet to survive. If she's inviting you back, then it's certainly a trap. Those who have yet to survive. Run. Call for help. Yell. Find someone who is her equal to extinguish the endlessly spreading flames. That is the only way. But what if she has already decided that I'm the only one worthy to dance with her? What if I can't abandon the lives in the city to their fates, as long as there is any chance of saving them? So you'll return to fire to someone who's still alive? Yes. And what if that doesn't work? Regardless, I'm going back, no matter what. He was a little shocked. He was like... Silence, and then Lakshmi hears a sigh. In ancient Tenge. I suppose stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary. The fire of death can be contagious. I'm also sure you can pull like some kind of, metaphor to like death is contagious in real life as well. I mean, because it's like a whole thing of like the cycle of death and the hatred and so on. Just a second. Wahoo! So far, it's also used as a metaphor for being stuck in the past, wanting revenge, not moving on from past trauma. Yeah. I mean, well, there's obviously it's very much a whole thing of. There's lots of metaphor and parallel, or sort of to death, past, life, future, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Death to death, life to life. Oh, wait, the fire wasn't there at first? And only after... Oh, what a small change. I noticed the fire being there. I didn't realize it wasn't there before the story. No way. Also, yeah, like, damn, he really was, like, stabbed all the way through, like, from down below, through the heart, through the back, all the way. This is far enough. We're already at the Wakeman camp. Your sister roused me from my slumber. You could always return me to it with your own flames. You could always return me to it with your own flames if you want. Read. Golden-haired Perro leaps off the back of a burden beast and rushes toward the red dragon. Oh, dog is back. Golden retriever. The burden beast is dragging an improvised cart with numerous long wooden boxes stacked upon it. Brigid? What are you doing here? Are those coffins? Yeah, coffins. Nemo said to bring them to the Wakeman. Are they still in the ruins? Arknights, Dragon, Ging, Spit Rope. It doesn't quite work like that. The joke doesn't quite work like that. You didn't include spit and or roasting in the lead up, so you kind of just told people to Google Dragon King spit roast with no context. Anyway, back to Golden Retriever. Say, is there someone with you? I can smell that same burning stink, and I could swear I heard you talking just now. Yes. I mistook it for skewered. English is hard. Right, well, yes. Well, I mean... If you really... You could, you know... If you wanted to stretch it, you could. Kind of. No, I'm alone. These are dead folks. Type would pull their own arms out of their sockets to bite at their imaginary enemies if you grabbed their hand, along with the poor wretches they tore to pieces. Oh my goodness. Don't understand the boss fight at all. Oh boy. I did hear my friend slightly complain about it. Just because it apparently has a flying second phase, so that you need to, like, be aware. And Theo, Nemo's found him in the end. It's almost like this was the natural order of things. Bonfires will be burning brightest when the night falls, and so on. The red dragon looks toward Nasaursi and sees a faint shadow in the distance, painting the silhouette of purple flames. Actually, trying to say Nasairshi, like the more correct way, specifically makes my sore tongue hit an uncomfortable spot. We'll be out of coffins if this keeps up. Make more? How Bridget made it out of the city, and the mist in the woods is thin enough for her to follow the trail. Blast it. Clone left a few unused weapons in his house. Can't let anyone see them. This fuel. Explosives? Find his Lokshin, he might find a use for them. I'm gonna blow something up? No, what's the point when every servant in the citadel has already been afflicted by the purple flames? Besides, the greedy red dragon has already sent them away. Almost as if she's preparing for a showdown with Her Highness. Or setting a trap? Who's there? NPC. Rory? What are you doing here? You're Nemos. Yeah, I'm going through Collins effects. If this isn't urgent, could I ask you to... Traitor? Have you gone mad? Silly me, of course you have. We all have. Traitor. Knock the fuck out. I still can't bring myself to kill them. Even if they might as well be dead already. Better drag this fellow back home. Could do without the unwanted attention. They are very much zombies, aren't they? Just puppets. Phew. Emos? Don't mind me, I'll be on my way. What's that in your hand? Oh, nothing. Now, if you excuse me. The necklace. This is a gift from Niels to Emma. I gave her bread. It's way more valuable than jewelry in times like these. She gave it to me. Did she now? A necklace she never takes off? It's none of your business. This place is fucked. Nemos, you staying behind? I thought all the Dubliners left the city. Don't tell me you're one of those living statues now who refuse to move or talk. Might be soon. Why did you bring them up? Sewing begins tonight, so I went through the houses of the missing people and found plenty of good stuff for the party tonight. Sewing? Party? Well, Cullen. Well, he was already on his last legs by then. I didn't really... Let's not talk about that. Look at all this stuff. It'll be a night to remember. It's this fucking schizo lady. The woman shows Nemos her bag, revealing a bottle of curded sisti milk, a few long-since sprouted potatoes, and several bare bones. Just wait for me, Nemos. Cullen, I'll have a fantastic sew-in. Only when the woman has already disappeared around a corner does Nemos remember who she is, a villager who once lived on the outskirts of Nassauersi. 2 years ago, the Victorians took her father away while investigating Dublin. The autumn harvest had just ended, and she had been preparing to celebrate the harvest festival. What Lakshmi hears about the situation in the city exceeds her wildest imagination. I must go back, now. Wait for me. I'll come once I've delivered these folks to the Wakeman. You sure about this, Bridget? It's dangerous in the city. If I fail, there may be no survivors. True, but I still gotta go. Why? Because it wasn't like this before. City folk never had much to spare, but they always had a cup of water for me when I delivered the letters. Didn't seem as one of their own, but I didn't walk away with a sneer when I told them nomad legends either. They listened. They definitely didn't bite, claw, and punch at people like they do these days, like The Walking Dead straight from a story. Walking Dead, mentioned again. Who are the nomads to deliver letters for, if the city dies for real? She's just a good girl. She's a golden retriever. Morin? The second shipment of bodies has arrived from Nassauersi. I must make the preparations. At this rate, it won't be long until the 3rd, 4th, or more. Are you really going to ignore it? As I've told you many times, the Wakemen do not take sides. It is not our decision to make. Are the Nassauersians not Tarans too? Why are we standing on the side watching when the Taran capital is marching towards destruction? I know you came back with the Red Dragon. I fear she will meet the same fate as the exiled king. But we were the ones to send the exiled king to his doom. We are descended from the priest that once officiated the ceremonies of Tara's royal palace. Our ancestors, moved by the exiled king's plea, welcomed him back into the palace when our little stance was ambivalent. The flames of death that spread through the plains of Tara were only extinguished 7 days after his death, when our ancestors finally returned his fire to him. They then left the palace of their own accord, going to self-exile on the exiled king's former pastures, so as to never forget the lesson. And thus the Wakemen were born. I'm sorry, but Reed isn't the exiled king. History is on a cycle that repeats itself endlessly. If it were, Reed would have already died in that citadel. Even her tyrant of a sister was the one who won to free Tara from Victorian rule. Fates are often alike, but always differ where it matters most. Warren has some words. Oh, back to storyteller. Fates are often alike, but always differ where it matters most. What a wonderful tagline for the cover of the book. Surely this one is destined for the bestseller charts. Assuming, of course, that you're able to finish the story. Never intended to profit off it. Oh, you will, if not in money, then in fame. Basis of the story, where it happened. There are more than enough reasons this isn't my story to tell. Besides, what happens next? That's what I wanted to ask. Did Lakshmi go back? From this point on, what I've seen, what I believe, and what I've said all contradict one another. Should I have lost the right of the ending? Lost sight of the ending. Feel free to take up the challenge if you're up to it. Give this dance between the dragon and her reflection whatever ending you please. Oh, is it all the same if I tell it myself? Of course, man, as you will it. The writer raises his mug, which is almost empty now, and toasts the woman before him. Once again he swallows the bitter brew, half expecting the sweet aftertaste that he knows will never come. Did I spook you? You got so polite all of a sudden. Makes me feel impertinent for ever pressing the question. No, but I must make it abundantly clear that everything we have discussed until now is no more than idle chatter. You understand, don't you? The woman sits straight and does not say a word. The writer can only attempt to guess whether she is still smiling through the shadows. Well, what are you waiting for? I've nearly finished my drink. Fallen into the same conundrum as you. If this is as far as both your references and your imagination go, how could I possibly put the Red Dragon's ultimate fate to paper? I've already said all I'm able to. I refuse to give this story an entirely fictional end, one that not even I could believe in, even if the alternative is that there is no ending. If you don't have an answer either, then no need to waste your time here. Leave while it's still early. Is this because you do not remember, do not understand, or is it because you wish you never knew, never understood? What? What are you getting at? You've never lost sight of the ending. It'd be more appropriate to say that your eyes have become clouded by too many creative liberties. Shall I recount them for you? Treasure is leading people into the darkness. Cullen dragging the statue to the square by himself. And virtually everything related to the dark mist in the woods, from the ejection of Bridget, to the food carts returning to the city on their own, to Lakshmi becoming lost in the woods, the Brigadier and Iblana's meeting in the city. If these creative liberties have created the contradictions in your mind, it is my responsibility to set them on a path towards the ending. Shall I supplement the story with my own observations? That was a very scared face by the guy. I'll take that as a yes. Perhaps they will lead you to a conclusion you can be satisfied with. So are we gonna like go back to those moments? Death or Romance. This is just a story, not a map of our future. There's no need to cry, Lakshmi. Death or Romance, as in the romanticism of the story? Where did you leave off? Ah yes, on the eve of Samhain, while the sun still hung in the sky. Samhain nights bind life of death. This is no mere superstition, or perhaps you could say that it has long transcended superstition. Tarn legends speak of countless great deeds and tragedies occurring on this very night, and such tales often put the date front and center. So long as innumerable legends coincide on that day, so long as the Tarans still remember, if only vaguely, to celebrate the harvest and light up fires on that day, it will never be a simple change of season. It itself is the perfect footnote to add to any myth. Oh, and another thing. I don't suppose you'd mind if I gave the characters more fitting names, yes? The sun is leaning westward. Have you yet to figure out how to go about this final confrontation? Small. Lakshmi, why are you hiding in your room at dinner time again? Cold young dragon. Warm young dragon. Is Dad angry? No, but he will be soon. I'll be down soon. What's that on your desk? Nothing. The young red dragon tries to block her sister's line of sight with her body, but her efforts is in vain. A small paper box sits on her desk, carefully lined with cotton. Inside lies a tiny foul beast, already dead but still harboring a faint lingering warmth. Seems to have broken its leg while alive. An unsuccessful splint fashioned from stiff paper now lies in pieces around it, accompanied by a few grains of wheat. This is the foul beast that sang at my window every morning. I don't know what happened to it, but I wanted to save it, and... It is stage mechanic reference, no way. I beg of you, sister, tell Dad I'm only feeling ill. I'll be on time for dinner tomorrow. I'll bury it in the courtyard tonight. So you're giving up? It's already dead. Is that so? Purple flames slip past the foul beast's feathers into its already cold body. The two watch as it slowly stands up, its broken leg stiffly propping itself up on the cotton. Alright, would you like it to fly or to sing a song for you? No, this isn't right, not like this. Then why didn't you use your own flames on it while it was still alive? Your foul beast could have lived a much longer life. You do realize you aren't limited to how the mediocre masses do things, don't you? The mediocre masses. She was talking like the pompous noble as a child. But Mum told me to swallow my flames, hide them away and never let them be seen. And who would see them in your own room? The young dragon looks away to avoid her sister's eyes, but finds her gaze landing on the foul beast standing on its cotton bed instead. Purple fire burns in its eyes, and with the way it tilts its head, it is the spitting image of her sister. Or do we perhaps still harbor unrealistic fantasies for how this could end? Oh, wow, old Reed. Sister, you're covered in blood. Are you injured? Most of it isn't mine. The Duke's spy bled profusely. I'll replace your bandages. Where's the Earl of Warwick? He has work to do. Yes, so he says, and as always, you take him at his word. Even allowed the spy to discuss poetry with you while he works. I thought I'd been keeping mum about our origin. I thought I'd been keeping mum as in mute, not mum as in mother. Thought I'd been keeping mum about our origins, as well as anything related to the Earl's vision. Everyone in this matter knows you never say a word more than necessary. That has never been something the Earl would bother to check. That's right. Had we let the spy escape, the Earl would still inevitably find a way to silence him in the dark, and we'd simply find ourselves bound by yet another chain called caution. I'm sorry, There's no need for you to apologize. Apologies have never changed a thing. Once packed with guests, the long empty parlor's acoustics now amplify the sound of the bandages being ripped apart, making the atmosphere even heavier. Those poems by the Seamus Williams you've been so into. If you can remember them, why not recite a line or two for me? The noble red dragon racks her brains for a verse that would not rouse her sister's rage. Perhaps something related to Tara, brave warriors, or even ancient legends. All she can recall are verses that stand aloof from worldly affairs. The land is but a strange romance, and the cause of its end lost to chance ill. I am but a wandering bard, well versed in lore from songs in the woods. She sneaks a peek at her sister's face and sees no change, so she plucks up her courage and continues to recite more lines. Only when she finishes both the entire poem and the new bandage with a delicate knot does she realize that her sister has already fallen asleep, encircled by meter and rhyme. Ipi Eblana. Or perhaps... Oh, not flashback anymore. Sister? And as noble red dragon and greedy red dragon. Ah, Lakshmi, you've kept me waiting. What of your new friends? The wayward wakewoman, or perhaps that lively nomad? With your presence, any obstacles preventing you from bringing them along should have easily been reduced to naught. They're in the city, but this is a moment to be shared by us alone. Indeed. It's cold out here on the balcony, so let us continue this in the corridor. Replica of Labrach Tide in the Sairsi, in which you cling on to our inglorious history and repeat it. I see you've gained a deeper understanding of the word Tara. If history does not repeat itself, then how can you speak of breaking the cycle? Well, you gotta break it at some point. Don't have to repeat it now. It can be very difficult to tell us apart by appearance. But the moment either of us speaks, it becomes as clear as night and day. Eblana only ever steers the conversation toward her own interests. while Lokshini is ever the polite one. Should get to the bottom of this and find an ending. Also, I mean... it's very clearly one of them doing the narration, you know, tell us apart. But then also, like, oh, those tricky... But they still made Lokshini and Eblana like, mentioned by name instead of, you know... Should get to the bottom of this and find an ending. Don't interrupt me, sir. I'm talking about the characters in the story. Fucking storyteller trying to interrupt. I'm sorry, Eblana. No, I'm quite glad you finally accepted my invitation. To dance? Yes, to dance. I'll dance with you to the end, together. However, please tell me first. The last time we met, you said you couldn't afford to wait any longer. What exactly is going on? With that same smile of hers, the older sister stands at the end of the corridor, while the younger clutches her hands together and hides in the shadow of a wall lamp, hoping the other party won't notice her heart wavering. Poor thing, she could have concluded this farewell so much sooner. You've become frail. Flames of death must have their limits. Spreading them so far would certainly drag you down as fire after fire blooms, just like La Breath back then. Am I right? I see. While a ghost fire might resemble mine, his temperament is closer to yours. Seems he's helped you quite a lot. At first he only wanted to watch all of Tara burn. He was simply trying to keep it together. Just like you. The noble red dragon finally steps out of the shadows, walking forward to support her sister who seems on the verge of being unable to stand. Just like before. Is that so? At least you resemble your younger self, when you knew nothing of flames or fate. The you who tried to shield me. It's been a truly long time, Lokshini. Also, I mean, just by my guess, the narrator is Eblana, because I don't think Reed would call herself Noble Red Dragon, you know? It's not in her character. It's not very humble of her. I remember. It was when Mrs. Murphy next door passed away. You didn't like her, but fancied the beautiful bouquet of flowers in her coffin. So you used your flames to change her body's position. Saw scorch marks on the flowers and thought you'd be scolded, so I told our parents I was the one who did it. Even fabricated a story of how I opened and closed the coffin. And so you were scolded instead. How could poor mom and dad, who couldn't even hide the flames in that family in time, possibly have noticed the faint scorch marks on some flowers? Indeed. Is that why you've always been cowering? Would you blame every decision you've made in life on one unfortunate childhood experience? So tell me, sister. Tell me there's still time. I'll accompany you out of the citadel into the square, have the people return their flames to you. I'll walk through Tara's fields with you, gather the dead you've intentionally or unintentionally awoken with your arts, sending them all to a peaceful rest. I'll recite poems to you while you're weak, till you fall asleep and wake up again. There's still time for all of that, yes? Trust you to keep your word. Your noble nature would be appalled at the very thought of breaking a promise. Noble. But what you just described, would that truly make you happy? Or would that simply be enough to appease the Lokshini Dublin, who did not even witness her parents' death that snowy night? Those beautiful fictions. Sister, love, poetry, dreams, those are all well and good, but it's time for you to wake up. Kill me. If you truly wish to end this chaos, that is the only way. Then put on the crown, and you shall become me, while I become you. There's the one thing I cannot do. You'll have time to mull over it once I'm dead. Didn't you decide not to hesitate anymore, Lokshini? There's been no other choice for us from the moment you came back to see me. The older sister's mouth curls up in an intriguing arc. Come, dance with me. Is this the dance you've been looking forward to all this time? Why can't it be? The younger sister closes her eyes as she points her spear at her older sister, whose body is about to topple over. She grips her weapon with both hands. The sharp spear tip pierces the red dragon's body, but she stands unmoved, as if nothing happened at all, until her younger sister's hand circles her waist and her body slowly crumples. Just like the end of a dance. Gaslighting? Yes, I know. I should have known long ago. But why? Why must it be now? Then when? Don't tell me you'd prefer to stab my heart on a fine afternoon, after meticulously dissecting every nuance of right and wrong with me. Return to me, and we dance this dance together. That's enough. I only thought if my sorrow and hatred were thrown into a suitable flame, they'd eventually become the fuel for life to go on. Sorrow and hatred. So you admitted, Lakshmi. Your noble virtues have only hurt you in the end. Where is your fire, sister? I can't put out your flames just like that. You mean the people in the city? You will die, but not now. Your flames will be extinguished at your funeral, at your fire returning ceremony. But still, you ought to be dispelling death with scorching flames rather than holding the hand of the dead and confessing your own inner turmoil, your own regrets. Otherwise, you'll only ever be as you are now, letting go of your chance to save everything. Your final chance. The noble red dragon loosens her grip in shock, and her sister's body drops to the ground, as cold as it was before her heart was pierced. It is not blood, but purple fire that roars from the wounds spanning her entire torso. It instantly floods the balcony and flows down the citadel. The noble red dragon rushes over to the balcony, but the purple flames of death are even faster. Before her own flames can even emit the tiniest spark of light, the purple fire spreads across the city, burning the whole of Nasairshi. The last time she looked out from this very spot, the flames were scattered like stars in the sky. When she had returned earlier that day, they coated the whole city with a cold and gloomy hue. And now, Nasairshi itself burns fiercely, just like every other restless corpse she has seen. Uh-oh. 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 One who burns the lamp, as you wish, Eblana. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Flashback. How far is County Hillock? Far. My sister must have known. Only the elocutionist and his band of idiots would consider this plan flawless. Bozos. Then why are you still following me? Oh, believe me, if it were up to me, I'd be taking a nap in camp right about now. Why didn't my sister stop me? I don't know. Maybe she has high hopes for you. No, that's impossible. She never looked at me like that. When I agreed to be her shadow, she... Please, Harmony, tell her I don't want to do this. That you don't want to go to County Hillock. And if she's in a good mood, could you also tell her that from now on I'll... No, never mind. Fine. Can't hurt to pass it along, I suppose. It's not easy avoiding the elocutionist's eyes and ears. Thank you. You should go. Fucking bozos. Before she gets bored. Bored? My mouse is in the way, sorry. Harmony did not return until after they arrived at County Hillock. She knew what that meant. That night, when cannons roared and crystals bloomed, she lay on the streets of County Hillock, blood draining from her abdomen. She had not been afraid then. Instead, she felt relieved that she would die like any other person. But then she saw those purple flames on a tower not too far away. That was when she felt afraid. Afraid that the flames would overlook her and turn her into another puppet like those on the street. Afraid that the flames would find her and bring her back, forcing her to remain a shadow. She gazed into the fire, trying to find some hint of her future in it, but saw nothing but apathy. That which she feared most had finally happened. The dead dragon lies on the ground, back to present. Behind the living dragon, the wayward wake woman suddenly understands it all. Oh, this music. She deceived you. No, she didn't deceive anyone. She set this all up, knowing you would never allow the entire city to die with her. She baited you into piercing her vessel, freeing her from her bonds and allowing the purple fire to spread, bring us all to ashes on the eve of Samhain. Now she takes such a risk for a festival that she never cared about. I'm affected by the purple flames too. I can feel the flames of death burning in my chest colder than ever. So cold I'm growing number by the minute. Doesn't matter whether she's seeking dominion over all of Tara or if she's simply gone mad and wants the city to die with her. It's neither. Tara already belongs to her. She was very much lucid. She... Nemos, is her body still there? I'll go check. This came along with this, man? I feel like I've remembered hearing this before. In like... maybe like a Lathanian event or something. Oh, it doesn't have exactly a perfect loop, does it? It just kind of resets. The wayward wake woman's brow is furrowed. Perhaps she's never felt such malice in all her life, and as such she has never harbored such resolve. Her body is... the sound of burning drowns out her answer. Whatever she's trying to do, I say she's not fully gone. Fire-turning ceremony can still go on. It must go on. I'm well aware. And from the citizens that the wicked red dragon they worship is dead. What about Bridget? I've asked her to leave the city and find the wakeman. How are you going to tell people that Iblana is dead? With a coffin. Seems appropriate. I mean, coffins are in short supply, but she's not some nameless nobody. She deserves one. Something wrong? No, I'm simply realizing how ugly the path she walked is. A path that even now waves at me invitingly. And it's an invitation I have no choice but to accept. Go, Nemos. I'll buy you some time. You mean from the dark mist? Yes. If it wants to be part of the Samhain festivities, I will keep it at bay. Hardly wait to ask the mist how to return the red dragon's flame to darkness. Asking the mist. Oh, back to storyteller. How do you feel about that line? Now, the ending of the dragon and her reflection is clear enough. It's not exactly ended, is it? The writer stands up with a start. Who are you and what do you want? Well, I wanted to finish the story that you would not. Didn't you say I was the type who liked to piece together truth? We've gone so very close to it. This is enough. I'm leaving. He's a little scared. If you won't tell the ending yourself, I suppose it falls on me. Just continues going. Suddenly, someone opened their eyes, causing a surprised reflection to let go of her hand. The dragon fell into the fire burning bright, and the reflection hid back in the mirror. When the fire subsided, the dragon was gone, and the people were anxious, for they could not find their dragon. The reflection wanted to explain, find a way to bring the dragon back. Without the dragon, though, she could no longer leave the mirror. What do you think? You've been glancing over there at the newspapers, but not everything reported is a fact. The writer looks towards the door. He tries to imagine himself running out of the tavern, but it's such a preposterous proposition that he almost laughs out loud. If not everything reported is a fact, then he finally knows who this woman is, and why she's here. He also knows that there is no escape. But there's something else he realizes. Perhaps this is his chance to truly find the ending he had hoped for. No matter who she is, as long as the story continues, they are equals. He feels his spirit return. Okay, I don't care who you are or why you're here. It's no way to tell a story. You haven't given it an ending. All you do is extend an endingless story. But I have to know, did you really see a red dragon kill another? In the same sense that you saw the hero drag a giant metal skeleton to the square, a crate of liberty, nothing more. I don't know why I'm questioning myself. And take responsibility for it. The dragon in the mirror accidentally caused her other self to burn to death in the fire. What next? What do the people do? What about the dragon in the mirror? What about you? Don't you have any ideas of your own? For the first time in a long while, the writer takes out a fountain pen from his pocket, then grabs one of the playing cards on the table. Tries to write something, but the tip of the pen has dried out from disuse. Much of a writer you are. I need time. But if it can be connected, then maybe connected? Let me guess, you're talking about the last story that you published. The writer's pen scratches hard against the card. Finally, some ink oozes out of the tip. He's suddenly reminded of the words of Seamus Williams. May death connect us with all legends. Seamus Williams is dead, but he himself might, if he may be so impertinent, have a chance to be connected with the legends he wrote. He tries to scribble the poem on the card, but the pen leaves only broken, illegible ink trails. Just maybe. Yes? The writer sits back on the chair, his back even straighter than before. He suddenly feels an urge, the same one he felt after hearing a Seamus Williams poem for the first time. Same feeling that had taken him down this wretched path, which eases his chest and makes him want to sing, to yell, to create. You may have indeed solved a problem for me. As I said, what I've seen, what I believe, and what I've said all contradict one another. Thanks to you, though, they're finally beginning to converge. How lovely for you. Now, are you ready to start telling the third story? Of course, of course. More narration? But I'll need your help. You will need to pick up the narrative whenever I get stuck. This is my story, but it's also yours. It has always been yours. With pleasure. The writer's breathing is rapid, his face red. His fountain pen still refuses to write, so he throws it on the table. Yes, of course. Has he not seen enough of those things already? So what? He's a writer. He will soon find the ending of his story. So as you wish, Ablana, as in maybe whatever.
There was a mother who once ruled a kingdom until her crown and her family were taken by her foes. The mother had a powerful daughter who then made a pact with the dark mist in the dark woods to drive out their foes. The daughter reclaimed the kingdom for her mother, returning the promised peace to the dark mist. The mother was to host a grand coronation for her daughter, but the daughter died mysteriously right before the event.
Music as well.
Tremendous woe and then rage engulfed the mother. Her zeal to avenge her daughter was so fierce that the entire kingdom was scorched by her vengeful fire. Until that
Is this the birth of the purple dragons?
Mist, who had just returned to its resting peace.
He said the dark mist was apparently
The dark mist demanded that the mother cease, or she would be dragged into the darkness. But in her grief, the mother remained convinced that the dark mist was the one who had taken her daughter. A desperate battle was then inevitable. The mother determined to risk her life.
I'll read again a little bit. But then also, Mr. Exiled King did not recognize the dark mist. At least seemingly. Oh, Labrador? No, Golden Retriever, not Labrador. Nemos, read. At the city gates, the nomad looks back at the citadel in the distance one last time. She resists the urge to turn tail and flee at the acrid burning smell. She knows what it signifies. She knows she should do as Nemos said, and leave the city to seek the Wakeman as quickly as possible, regardless of whether Lokshini is successful. But despite the urgency in Nemo's voice, she did not sound like she believed things would take a turn for the better. Nor did she believe that Bridget could convince the Wakeman to come. Bridget could smell the same burning smell coming from Nemo's. reminded her of the obsessions that only the dead could have. Oh. Who are you waiting for? Death? Just waiting for it to pat you on the back so you can have a nice little race together? Who is that? Oh, I forgot you could hear me. I can hear you. I can even sense your presence, but I can't see you. Leave the city, outsider. You're an outsider too, by the sound of it. Naturally, considering advice from one outsider to another. Live, Brigid. Nothing is more important than being alive. The city will be dead by sunrise tomorrow. Listen to me, Nemos. Find our kinsman. Run as far as you can and never look back. You're right, I should go. But I will be back. Back? Stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary. What do you mean? What do you mean? How did you get Golden Retriever in your bloodline? You gonna come back after she tried so hard to get you out of here? Do you also think it was just an excuse to keep me safe? What else could it be? Or do you think you can sway those wood brains? Maybe if you waited for spring, one of their brains would sprout and they might come with you to the dark woods. I guess there was something. Yeah. Never mind. Now that you say it, there was actually already a... I kind of passed over it, yeah, when the first time was mentioned, where I was like, just casually mentioned that it somehow descended, yeah. Or like, her people were at least descended or something. I don't like the way you talk, invisible brother. What did you call me? Brother? You have a burnt stench, but other than that, you remind me of the nomads. No clue how you're related to us, but it feels right. It was the nomads were descendants of the exiled king. Yeah. Let's make a bet then, Brigid. A bet? Whether you'll be back tonight, before Nasair is burned to the ground. I say it's impossible. That's not what you really want to bet on. Oh yeah? Then tell me, what am I really thinking? You just want to prove that you're right, that nothing is more important than being alive. You think I'll choose survival in the end. Whatever, you're on. Well, what are you waiting for then? It doesn't feel fair. If you win, I'll live the rest of my life in regret. But if I win, it doesn't really matter to a bystander like you. So how about this? If I win, you go back to where you came from. Or where do you think I should go back to? No idea, but not here. This isn't your home. You sound like you've been betrayed by the city folk here before, but you still can't bring yourself to hurt them. You act like you want to see them reap what they sowed, but didn't sound happy at all when you talked about the city burning to the ground. Honestly, you're the most struggling person I ever met, and... enough. Fucking caught? Very well. If you win, I'll return to where I belong. But just coming back here to die won't cut it. We'll see a CG for 5-star. What else do you need me to do then? Deliver a message to those wood brains outside the city. Tell them... Also, there's a little tiny one over here as well. She's running. It's been 600 years. Nobody's blaming you anymore. Go do your jobs. Oh. Dude. Look at that. The art on this one really has been something. Sheesh. Strange running posture a little bit here on on Brigid, but... Oh, and one more thing. In ancient Tenge. I fucking hate you stupid wood brains. What? Pass that on to those fools verbatim. Especially the filthier bits. Did you get all that? Need me to repeat myself? No? The elders sometimes speak that language, so I understand it. More or less. Then go. What are you waiting for? Was all of that just so you could tell me this? Just get moving already. The golden-haired nomad takes a deep breath and runs away from the city. Her ancestors, whose figure she never saw, stands in place, unmoving. That stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary. He's a tsundere. He's a little tsun. He's like, oh, go away. Nemos turns to leave, while Lakshmi looks toward the dark woods. The sun has set beneath the horizon. Curfew is about to begin. In the distance, she sees a dark mist spreading from the forest towards Nasairshi, thicker than ever. The dark mist. Made it in time. She raises her spear toward the mist outside, lighting a bright yellow spark in the city of purple. As though receiving some kind of message, the mist slowly rises until it is level with the flame at the tip of her spear. Yes, come here. When it's warm and bright, where there's still life. Yes, over here. What? You want to pretend I don't exist again? I won't let you. Oh. This light will never go out, not until true darkness falls. Attracted by the flame in her hand, yet unable to approach, the mist begins to flow through the streets. Soon it returns, but this time her flame can neither draw or repel it. There's a cacophony within the mist. She feels as though everything has gone dark all of a sudden. Welcome back, Baka. You missed a cool CG! You missed a cool CG! Maybe even multiple. The dark mist has come. Is this your answer? Yes, this is my answer. It is incomplete. It needs time. Time is your enemy, not your friend. We'll see about that. The deathly fires have not yet completely transformed the people into the Walking Dead. They're still alive. There's still time to return the flames. And you're not going anywhere until Nemos awakens them. Ridiculous. Ridiculous? Maybe. Maybe my strength, my wisdom, and my arts are also insignificant to you that it seems ridiculous. But I have my resolve. Nemos drags the coffin through the corridor. The red dragon's remains do not burn. They simply lie there quietly. This is how death should be, but Nemos seems to hear an ethereal voice laughing in her ear. I just had a thought on indeed how this ends. Okay. We'll see if I will be correct when we get to there. Without hesitation, the wayward wake woman lifts the limp body and tosses it into the coffin. I didn't want to say it because it technically could be like a spoilery, I guess. This coffin, Red Dragon, is your final resting place. It's where those like you belong. So where are you now? Still watching us from somewhere with that twisted smile of yours? But this vessel, at least, is beyond your reach. Otherwise you'd have burned me to ash by now. And this spear which never left your side. How many times have you breathed your flames from it? How many others like Cullen have you been your victims? You don't even know the answer, do you? With a great effort, Nemos lifts the spear and thrusts it into the coffin. Flames from its tip engulf the coffin in an instant, spreading along the rope connecting it to Nemos and merging with the purple fire on her. A deathly cold runs through Nemos' body, but she could hardly feel the temperature at this point. You're mine now. I'll finish what Cullen started. Let's go to those lowly, despicable places that suffered from the war you stole victory in. Stole victory in? Kinda real though? Yeah, I can stab that shit. You will be seen by all. Your death will be seen by all. They will know that you are dead, that the proud, imperious Red Dragon is dead. Here lies Eblana Dublin, his coffin covered in freezing flames. But what will they do then? I pray that your death will wake them up, of course, as Lakshmi hoped. Let them know that the era you represented is over. Then Nasairshi will escape this calamity, that Tara need not celebrate its rebirth with the death of a city. But your fire must have gone to my head, Dragon. Why is that I suddenly feel like the other ending, where it all ends in destruction, isn't so bad? Someone else may have killed you, but this is my revenge. The coffin remains silent, and Nemos no longer speaks. Silent, delirious, and determined, she drags the burning coffin down the stairs, making a point to let it heat each step on the way down. So petty. So petty. It sounds like the withered mockery of the dead. It's like a serious moment, but it's also so petty. It's so petty. That was after, right? Yeah. All right, we haven't done boss. I forgot. I know that it starts flying in phase 2, so at least I'll make my squad actually have range damage, I guess. Await the deluge, and when the sun rises, we shall have surpassed both life and death. At the end of the night. Also, I did see an image of the boss, so at least I know like what the boss is. I don't know if it'll actually be related terribly to the story, but... Do I have enough anti-air here? Maybe not. We can keep Rigid in there, sure, it doesn't matter. What kind of vampire do I take? Do I actually just take maybe another caster? Who cares about line of sight mechanics if you're global range? I didn't spoil myself. It was Hard posted a video and it was in the thumbnail, okay? It was like a speed run of the boss or something. I'll go blow my nose quickly and then... Actually, I'll go take a piss as well. Level 1 Bridget carry, it's true, it's true. So loud. She's in there for trust farming. She's now the only operator again I have who is not max trust. I just got Chobai to max trust, so. I'm cleaning my glasses. Ah, no! I accidentally hit it with my raw finger instead of the glass was wipe. Nemos drags the coffin out of the citadel. Not a single soul is in the square of the statue. Curfew has begun, but she drags the red dragon's coffin over as the draconic flames burn within her own body. Wherever she goes, the darkness retreats. When she moves on, it reoccupies the space. Also, that's the big dragon statue. I wonder if it will be relevant Cullen, I envy you. No one could have slept through your dragging that colossal statue, forcing them to come out to see what's going on. What about me, Cullen? What am I supposed to do? I have to keep shouting the red dragon is dead as I walk down the street. She lifts her head to meet the statue's eyes. The violet flames dancing within its pupils do not answer. She recalls the songs she sung for the dead, with the Wakemen all those years ago. Those from the city would also join in, if only for the first few lines. I hope you all remember the ancient ballads, Terrans. So, Red Dragon, which song should I sing to announce your death? How about the blasphemous Tim Finn's wake? Would you enjoy a funeral where people get into fights, splash whiskey on your corpse, then you wake up after smelling the alcohol? Forget it. No one wants you coming back to life. That line's a little funny. That one's a little funny. That's a little funny. She casually sings another song that pops into her mind. The black clouds shroud the Martian vales, the cold wind shrieks through the mountains and mountain hills. And crack of dawn I see a traveler who asks me the way to the golden field. The wayward wake woman sings with a hoarse voice, dragging the burning coffin towards every inhabited part of the city she's familiar with. She stops at every house, making sure that the purple flames reflect in their windows, that the elegies heard inside. So true, Wolfenite. Does it exist? The more she sings, the more intimately the flames envelop her body, overwhelming her sluggish senses and making every steep step feel like a torturous labor. Every steep. But also lets her hear even the smallest snippets of speech from every window. Flashback. Taran language classes, Kieran? That can't possibly be free, right? At that price, well, it's doable as long as we cut down on the wine. Not the wine! Bloody hell, Kieran, if I helped you more back then, could you have escaped the Victorians? That dark mist of the red dragon won't drive it away, I'll do it myself. The black cloud shroud the Martian vales, the gold wind shrieks through the mountain hills. In crack of dawn I see a traveler who asks me the way to the golden field. It's only got 2 lines, this song. Who's that? Nemos? What's she up to singing in the middle of the night? What's this she's dragging? It burns so bright. Am I a good drunk actor? So wasted. Another flashback. Darling, even if you want to help the Terran cause, surely you don't have to join the army. Fine, I'll wait for you to come home for the day we win our freedom. Finding some quiet. Going on and on about how your hand hurts when your whole arm's already gone. It's not like screaming about it is going to get you any medicine. It's going to be like this, I wish you'd never come home. Rather spend my whole life missing you. Never mind, we have more lines. I said to him, poor chap, even I don't know how far you have to go. But if you wish, I'll go with you for a bit towards the golden field. Isn't this a funeral song? Those purple flames. Who is it mourning? Oh, realization. Fucking dink-donk. What? The enemies have entered the woods and are right outside the city? I can't sit back and do nothing. Nemos, where's the army recruiting? I'll take my weapons and go. There's neither light nor any voice behind this window. Turn right and pass by the palace, across the river of fine wine. I'll share a cup by the riverside before we turn to the Golden Field Road. They should give us chord notations for the songs so that we know how they go. Not that I can read chords. Miss Nemos, will you be moving in with Mr. Cullen after the war's over? Fucking dead kid. Oh, I was hoping there'd be someone other than me to cook for him. And they were roommates. Perhaps the most important thing to do before Her Highness returns is to repair the workshop door. Sniffle. I hope you find that golden field and a home in flames you'll never yield. I'm sure you won't hesitate then and complete your trip to the golden field. The golden field. They do like golden fields as metaphors for death or the afterlife. Awake woman on the brink of death. Who does she think she's going to rouse with those songs when she can't even wake herself up? But whatever happens, Bridget, oh silly child of my distant bloodline, don't come back. The city isn't worth your life. She will. It's Bridget. Nemos walks toward the last street she has yet to visit. She has been through practically the entire city and heard the simmering restlessness behind every door, but none of them have opened. The wayward wake woman gradually loses her grasp on her senses as her voice grows weaker. She has sung every song she knows, even the blasphemous Tim Finn's Wake, from start to finish. She has only one song left. She didn't want to sing it, but now she has no other choice. I stepped into dark woods one morn, calling to the mists of horror. I trod upon the road, heading out to war. Dying resident with purple in her eyes and very pale. Nemo's All Rise is supposed to be Finnegan's Wake? I guess that would make sense. Tim Finn's... Okay, yeah. Emma! I almost couldn't recognize you. You're still not doing good, Nemos. I'll be dead soon. Just want to lie in bed and stop breathing. My joint hurts and my throat's burning. Even seeing people who aren't with us anymore. But I heard your song and saw the coffin. I'm on death's door already, so I figured why not come and see. Where's the dark mist? Maybe in the forest, maybe in the city. Maybe right behind us. I don't know and I don't care. I don't care either. One question, Nemos. I need you to answer it before I can die in peace. Inside that coffin, is that truly our red dragon? Emma stands on her front porch, staggering, as if ready to collapse at any moment into a pile of kindling, to burn in despair and return to dust. I put her in the coffin myself. Why did she die? Who killed her? Who? Emma's feeble but angry voice echoes down the empty streets. Who? 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 The echoes linger. Oh, it's supposed to be the echo. Nemos turns around to look. The streets are still empty, but she knows where the echoes are coming from. Behind every closed door is a pair of bloodshot eyes hidden away, just like the ones on Emma's face. Nemos turns again to look towards a towering citadel where nothing remains within. You guys still want revenge? That's right, as long as we can move, we can avenge the Red Dragon. What if Red Dragon killed Red Dragon? Nemos turns away in despair. She stops singing her songs and merely hauls the coffin step by step towards the square. Wait, Nemos, wait! Oh. Oh. How many times must I repeat myself, Mist? Eblana is dead. I killed her with my own hands. Her body lies in the coffin Nemos is now dragging through the city. People must know she's dead and return her violet flames so their bodies will no longer burn. Wishful thinking. She did not gift those flames, she merely started the fire. Everything the Red Dragon promised will be lost because of you. When has she ever cared about honoring her promises? if it's all that matters to you. Lokshini retreats, step by step, until there's no room for her to move any further. Only then does a fierce flame burst from her spear tip, melting the coldly lit vegetation. Know that the only red dragon stands before you. Whatever she's promised you, the only way you'll get it is through me. Do you hear the doors opening in the distance? You must have. And at the start, we had the narration of the red dragon, or the little daughter making a deal with the dark mist, and pa 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 pa. Nemo's aside, the first readingt to break curfew has already opened their door. So for their sake, as well as the hundreds more who will take to the very same streets, you must remain here. Before my answer to Nasaish is deemed a failure, before the people here are reduced to shambling corpses bent on tearing the dark mist apart, you have no right to take the lives of anyone trespassing in the dark. What arrogance. You call this arrogance? If Tara needs it, I can be far more arrogant than that. The red dragon speaks no more, and the flames of life burn brightly atop her spear. She steps forward with her back straight, no longer dodging the ice-cold branches, but allowing them to lace her body with bloodied scratches. Not very accurate then if they're not hitting her properly. The juxtaposition of the giant statue with the two tiny figures makes them seem like ghosts. But somehow Nemo's can only feel the presence of others besides Emma. In fact, they seem to have crowded the square, as if the whole city is here. They're all watching and listening, lit up by the strange purple glow from their Reginium lamps. No, it is more than a glow. Their bodies are burning purple. New music? I think we heard this at the start. The sort of Gaelic music. Is this the lobby music for Firelight? Whatever. The one who killed the red dragon is... Nemo's knows they haven't changed a bit. They're still waiting for her to utter a name they can curse and then destroy. Or maybe they will even destroy themselves. Lokshini? No one would believe there were actually two red dragons. Who else then? Who else could possibly kill the dragon who seemed to toy with life and death? Before she can stop herself, she has a thought. Why not just say it was the Dark Mist, or the Victorians? Where is this from, though? Or does it just sound similar? Like a music distraction. Revenge indeed. Let these lunatics dash into the mist and die in the Red Dragon's name. Let them fulfill their desire for vengeance, and let this violet city die. It was born in disgrace, let it die in madness. Yes, die. Let everyone who stayed perish, just like those who left and went into the dark mist. I stepped into the dark woods one morn, calling to the mists of horror. Nemo turns to look at the colossal dragon's skeleton sculpture, and recalls that recent evening, awash with confusion and sorrow. What was he thinking? The man who dragged the statue into the square. What song was he singing in his heart? Was it the song they taught Theo when they rescued him? What feels like centuries ago? At this moment, the last bit of her sanity snatches the answer from the fiery clutches of her rage. The answer that had been flooding around since the very beginning of the story. The answer to the Red Dragon, to the sisters, to the mirror and reflection, and to the flames of life and death. Cullen. If it wasn't you to throw his life away protecting these people. The one who killed the Red Dragon is none other than the Red Dragon. It was herself. The woman before Nemo stares at her blankly, as if she did not hear the words. Straining her entire being, Nemo yells at the whole city. The Red Dragon killed herself. She never intended to light the flames within your bodies, but she did not want you to burn into cinders, so she offered her own life instead. Lies. To protect you from death, and yet, must you exact a fruitless revenge? Must you destroy everything she gave her life for? The city falls silent as purple flames flicker, leaving only the dark mist lingering restlessly at the gates, as if waiting for its hesitant prey to step into its domain. You're saying she killed herself, so he wouldn't exact revenge? Oh, more fire. Then, what do we do now? The onslaught of questions from the residents sends Nemo's head spinning. Bloodshot eyes that did not shut from news of death, instead ask her questions. Grinding teeth that did not relax from news of the death, instead ask her questions. Clenched fists that did not open from news of the death, instead ask her questions. Silence, tension, confusion. The revenge was rejected, overruled by the Red Dragon, so where should their sorrow go now? Niels, my unborn child, the Red Dragon, someone, tell me. Emma? If even revenge is out of my hands, then what else can I do? I have nothing else. The war took everything from me. How am I supposed to live on? Tell me, Niels. Tell me, Red Dragon. Anyone, just tell me, quickly. How am I supposed to live on? Or should I go to you instead? Emma, no. Isn't this the only path left for me? Gradually approaching voice. I stepped in the dark woods one morn, calling to the mists of horror. Niels, is that you? Are you finally back? Dog. I trod upon the road, heading out to war. No pipes a singing, nor battle drums a roar. Only the bells behind me, for the dew and fog their rings do soar. Stop singing! That song snatched Niels away from me. Why would you still sing that song, nomad? Emma seems lost to madness, until a soft voice sings the same tune, but with different lyrics. The night-blinded laborer is led by a wake woman as they slowly walk into the square. Again through the dark woods. I said stop singing that. Wait, again? It may be presumptuous, but I tried writing a new verse to the song. Because I don't want our brave loved ones to just leave us. To never see us again. To be eternally lost in the mist, just like we are. Again through the dark woods, parting the mists of horror. Our gallants dearly departed, my heart so sad and sore. And so in my dreams I go, lighting bonfires in the woods. Not to reunite, but to light the path you trod with fog and dew. Not to reunite, but to light the path you trod? A tear trickles from Emma's eyes, streaking across her sallow face. Return it. Return your flames and the blessing of the Red Dragon. Return the flames? Why, return this blessing, this fire back to her, light up their path? Return it and the wandering departed will also return to the flames and rest in peace. No, I don't want that, I just want to see him again. If you die as you are, you will only ever brush past each other in the fog, again and again. Then what should I do? Live on. He chose to walk into the mist so you wouldn't need to be lost within it as well. Return the fire to light his path, and then let the years pass, let life begin anew. When your hair is white and he learns his wish was fulfilled, only then will you meet again. Gaslighting. The woman buries her face in her hands as she kneels on the ground, tears streaming down her fingers. Morn hands her a candle. The candle flame turns purple the moment she takes it between sobs. Successfully convinced? The wakemen and refugees slowly sing their way through the city, like a tiny stream left behind after a night of rain. It is by no means a clear stream, nor a turbulent one. It is a miserable, muddy trickle, flowing down centuries of painful history, carrying dust and blood, and about to run dry. But it is this murky bitterness that reveals the city's true self in the gloomy night. Nights of falling asleep ripping old photos, mornings awakened by phantom pain from amputated limbs. Now empty houses fell to ruin, while those fortunate enough to return home were greeted only by orphaned dolls scattered across dusty floors. The doors are opening? They are. People flood into the streets like a burst dam, pouring into the square. Some leave their homes with candles in hand, while many more follow Emma's lead and take one from the wake woman. The flames still burn purple, but seem to have softened, and bear a bit of warmth. Finally. Place the red dragon's coffin at the statue's base, Nemos. Seems Nashayirshi will witness a grand fire-returning ceremony tonight. You should be the first, Nemos. Me? But this is her funeral, so are you sure? It is more than just hers, is it not? The wake woman looks around, trying to pinpoint the shadow of the stranger. But even if the ghost wasn't trying to hide from her, she has no way of hearing the long overdue words of forgiveness from his mouth. Now we're even, Woodbrains. Nemos takes a candle from the wake woman and bows before the burning coffin beneath the dragon statue. Rest in peace. She deliberately neglects to mention the name of the departed. She places the candle before the coffin, no longer able to stop her tears from crashing into the flames. Violet fire instantly rises up into the sky, spreading from the coffin to the entire statue. The entire sculpture is set ablaze. Oh. To the music! The crowd place their candles down beside the statue and return the purple flames to the one who granted them their hue. Some are silent, some call the red dragon's name, but many more chant the most precious thing they had lost in the war. Tears fall like rain. The suppressed, the promised, twisted, the incited. Tears wash away the flickering, hollow pageantry, revealing only the sorrow of lives crushed to bits. Crude, sharp, turbid, and stuck in their throats, only now does their sorrow manage to cry out. The rain of tears converges into the stream of songs, pooling around the statue as a raging blaze evaporates it all, until even the citadel behind the square is engulfed in flames. As I said, this is my answer. The mist does not reply, but after a long time, Lakshmi hears a deep sigh. You made this choice yourself. Yes? What the fuck was up with the mist? The dark mist dissipates like awakening from a dream, and Lakshmi sees real black clouds above her. She heads towards the square. She goes to return fire to the dead. She walks the whole way from the city gates to the square. Every living resident is gathered before the burning statue. The soaring purple flames have already taken over one side of the citadel. No one is able to approach, so Lakshmi gets all the space she could want. It should work from here too. Lana, may Tara never need your flames again. A small blossom of fire flies from Lakshmi's palm. She does not know if this conforms to the funerary tradition. It is simply an act of instinct. The bright yellow flower flutters into the purple blaze. Lakshmi stands quietly, as the other fire returners have done. But the fire does not die out. The purple fire still lights up half the sky, until everyone has returned their flames, though the originium lamps on their waists remain an ice-cold violet. Lakshmi finally realizes that at some point the giant dragon, still aflame, has stopped right before her. She meets its eyes. Eblana's eyes. Still not giving up, Eblana? Very well then, I'll play along with you. One last time. Lakshmi's spear tip flares up as the giant dragon flaps its wings and charges towards her. and then boss time. But it's probably going to be very loud because gameplay is so much louder than that. Also, that music, dude. The music, my god.
誰を餌にするか足元を見てみなさい。あまり待たせないで。そんなにこそこそしなくていいよ。みんなに。It
would be really funny if global range made like, you know, the whole map into like a range. I would classify it as quite funny. I think go over there. These stupid eggs cannot kill. The dragon... Wait, huh? They don't go over here? They're actually somehow getting blocked by the branches? All flames return. The ancestral red dragon that never left the wilderness. Or perhaps the place where the fire is returned. The whereabouts of the heart. I wonder how icky this... existence is going to be. Oh, I see some kind of shenanigan right here. What's this shenanigan, huh? What am I looking at, Mr. Dragon? Okay, not super tank. Probably has a fair amount of res, is my guess. Does not hit terribly hard. Woo! Oh, I see, okay. Oh, is she like locked? Oh, she's locked for like a minute. And then she just fucking... That kind of works quite well. That works quite well. She just kind of... You know, Ascalon just kind of deletes the situation. Okay, well, she takes quite a bit of damage, but... Is she in heal range? She's not in heal range because of the fucking plan. Silly plan. Plan shenanigans. Oh, it goes up. Okay, there's some kind of... Okay, there's fire shenanigans, I see.
Standing by.
Okay. Something phase 2.
Standing by.
That's the wrong guy. It's the funny bunny guys. You can silence the bone piles, they don't explode in air. Oh, maybe you can silence the bone piles. Funny Lapland. You can't block the bunny? I didn't realize you can't block the bunny. No blocking of the bunny. Why is this SP solo? Did he get hit by like necrosis or some shit? Also, my friend said that it had some kind of res function as well. Did he auto-activate it? Oh, it's S1. Oh my god, it's S1. That's not S3. That's why. What a goof! Also, it's taking... Oh, it had just a little bit of necrosis damage from whatever. I have to like kill all these things or something in time. Okay, what the fuck is this res mechanic, huh? Oh boy, what is this res mechanic? What is the res mechanic? Who knows?
した天気？大丈夫。私のナイフは深い霧だって切り裂けるから。
Could it be? Could it be these funky guys?
ここが戦場。
Oh, never mind. Now it's flying. Okay, never mind. It wasn't even flying yet. I didn't even realize it wasn't flying yet. I'm silly. Also, wow, that hurt.
取るに足らん処刑だ。立ち会う価値もない。
ご命令のおもちゃで遊ぶのもここまで。聞いてるけど、誰かに気づく前にあなたの死体を
S3 logos obviously would have been helpful instead of my shitty shenanigans with S1.
この力、どうか受け止めてください。
I can actually slow it down still with Ascalon, but maybe matters a little bit less. I guess we can put it. You can get necrosis also.
レトエウキメからうん、からしのこの
I guess we'll get necrosis also. Oh, my little wolfies! What the heck? Oh my god! What in the hell?
Assumo le posizioni designate.
What the fuck was that? That shit was crazy.
Assumo le posizioni designate.
Okay, it's dead.
Mission accomplished.
Ayaberry does exist, yes. Okay, it was a good thing I had Ayaberry, because Ayaberry kind of, I feel, hard countered a lot of that. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting the fucking leave the map fire fucking blast. Successfully ignore mechanics, for sure. Absolutely. That very much felt like I was ignoring every mechanic that there possibly could have been. What a guy. I was like, okay, you know, just like a little spike things that spawn or whatever, and you destroy those and so on. There's like some kind of, you know, fire on the ground that gives you burn or necrosis or something. Probably burn. Then you fucking laser beam. My god. If you don't clear the old bone piles that spawn when phase 1 dies. Okay, apparently I didn't clear them out the first time? Interesting. I guess there was like one alive somewhere. Because it revived once. Okay, so I did guess correctly that my idea was like, oh, you probably have to clear the thingies to not res. But I guess I just missed one. One on a ranged tank, okay. I just missed one barely on the first one. But yeah, that was an Aya ignore mechanics type of fight. Also, I mean, the Ascalon was pretty good for clearing the bone piles. And apparently, indeed, they can be silenced, and Lappy was Lappy. Flashback to Brigadier. Your Highness, the singer has just sent word that the elocutionist and the rest have taken Lokshinni on their way to County Hillock. I see. He only sent news after our troops left and the leader had already set out for County Hillock. He seemed to want to avoid offending the elocutionist and his group, but also to avoid accusations of concealing information. Mr. Meta. Look, we're here to read. What should we do with him? Dublin has never needed him to be our eyes. No one is counting on him for this. My most apologies. I take full responsibility. I assumed they were heading towards County Hillock on orders and never imagined they'd dare to take Lokshinni. But they haven't gone far, so they can still catch up if we set off now. Alright, yeah, this was this... Did we already know this a thing that it was... The bozos were like kind of acting on their own? Your Highness, I bring news from your sister. She hopes you can curb the elocutionist and his men from acting rashly and bring her back. She said that herself? That's right. I'll mobilize the troops at once. Hold on. Your Highness, we should stop them as soon as possible. Also, I don't want to go to County Hillock, straight from the dragon's mouth. If that is truly her desire, then she ought to realize it with her own hands. Be no difficult task with her flames, has she not already sentenced quite a few to death in the name of the leader? Tell her this, if that is what she wants, she can do it herself. No, there's no need for even that. Your Highness, if I may be so bold, she is my sister. The giant dragon flaps its steel wings, stirring up a flaming vortex, but Lakshmi does not waver. She stabs her spear firmly in its eye socket. Ow. Still unable to commit to killing me, Lakshmi? Gradually, the dragon's voice overlaps with Oblana's, and eventually even its body becomes hers. The scenery around them changes swiftly, just like that night in the ruins with Labreathach. Or Lureach. Back. I just don't know. What exactly do you want? You deceived me and lied to so many. All for what? For the city to be buried alongside you? To become the next legendary King Gale? I never lied to you. Why should I believe you now? What exactly is Nasirshi to you? What about Tara? I'd always believed we shared the same dream, so why do they seem completely different now? Or will dreams eventually become a card for you to play in your mad pursuit of power, one that you'll inevitably grow bored of, just like Lakshmi back in County Hillock? County Hillock? I saw no desire to return to me in your eyes back then, or in relief. Was I mistaken? Though I was truly sick of it back in County Hillock. With my flames, I could mold anything I want into any shape I want, nothing except my reflection in the mirror. Voices. No matter how large a blaze I stoked, she wouldn't change one bit. Because you've never burned her directly. Because I've never burned you directly. I've only ever waited. I've always been waiting for you to give me an answer. An answer? Flashback. What about you, Lakshmi? What do you want? Yes, it's good that your blood and your upbringing have you carry yourself high, but if you want for nothing, then what sort of position am I meant to leave by my side for you? Go on, this is your wish on a snowy night. Let you aspire as grand as you want. True, you never used your flames on me, but only because you had other tools more suited for the task. Fear, duty, guilt, sympathy. Never asked me directly to change, but you've done so indirectly countless times. So my attempts to guide you were useless, and my apathy bore fruit? How terribly ironic. Whatever the case, you find a return of your own will, ready to embrace a real life. That is enough. Conspiracies, lust for power, war. Is that what you'd call a real life? Is it not? Stories, poems, legends. Do you think those are enough to constitute a life worthy of you or I? I know. I've always been ashamed of myself. Even now I hate myself for not sharing your suffering. I was the one who left, forcing you to shoulder it all on your own, letting them mold you into who you are now. No, Lakshmi. Recently I've been wondering if you're just as arrogant as I am. The only difference is that my arrogance is directed at the land, while yours is focused solely on me. What? Conspiracies, lust for power, war. Why do you assume those are what shaped me? They've never changed me. They simply happened to take on a form I was able to wield with ease, nothing more. The tiniest bit of power can decide whether one lives or dies. Even more power can decide the fate of armies, and an overwhelming amount can decide the rise and fall of nations. Power comes to an end. The poets have always known this, and I think you do too. Am I wrong, Lakshmi? Death mocks all equally, preparing a predestined end for those who crave power, ruthlessly snatching away everything they've spent their whole lives chasing. If you knew your path would come to naught, why did you still... Oblana backs away as a giant steel-forged dragon follows suit. Is it escaping, or trying to hide? Lakshmi subconsciously eases her fire, but the next moment bites down on her lip and abruptly increases her strength, pushing Oblana forward. Very good. At least you have learned the most fundamental thing required for life without me. Cruelty? Determination. If you decided that this path is your life, then step forward and never look back. You should be telling that to the people of Nasairshi. Let me finish. Death mocks all equally, yet I shall mock death. So bless me, dear sister, for I'm finally about to embark on a grand adventure. Eblana retreats again and again, the smile on her face fainter than ever. The sensation in Lakshmi's arms of piercing through steel gradually lessens, until it feels as smooth as a stroke for a body, and as hollow as running a spear through flame. Until an immense force, like the final flash of a dying light, erupts from her spear tip, pulling Lakshmi towards the other side. Ice-cold flames wrap around her body, and she suddenly realizes that she now stands at the entrance of the citadel, on Red Dragon Square, right in the middle of the fire returning right. Or perhaps the dragon skeleton she is currently entangled with merely returned to its original position, and took the chance to pull her, with her firm grip on her spear, into the core of the funeral flames. Do you still wish to get away from me, Lakshmi? Oh, is that... I think I understand what she did. Light shoots out from Lakshmi's spear, brighter than ever. In a flash, she feels a burning sensation as painful as her internal organs, rupturing repeatedly. The flames of life burst and fade in the center of death, again and again until her weapon can no longer stand her overloaded arts and bursts aflame as well. The dragon's bones crash and collide with each other, like thousands of mouths singing their separate elegies. The flames slowly grow warmer as Eblana's figure gradually fades. Lakshmi's lips quiver, wishing to say words of farewell. In her heart, she scans every book she has read, but is unable to recall an appropriate line. Small. Before she dissipates, Eblana slowly cradles Lakshmi in an embrace. Farewell, till death do us meet again. I hope you enjoy my parting gift. Parting gift? Cry. Flashback. The mourners in the square are completely oblivious to what is occurring within the flames. All they see is a fire growing taller and stronger, now covering the pedestal. The coffin, the dragon sculpture, the citadel, yet continuing to ascend. The flames distort the dragon's figure. They can no longer tell whether it is flapping its wings in flight, in a death match with some unseen foe, or crying out in anguish with its head run through. Everyone is silent, trying to identify its posture in the firelight, but all is in vain. Until Bridget cries out in surprise. Okay, I knew it was going to happen. I knew they were going to do the transition. The fire changed color. The fire changed color. A strong wind rising up from the ground turned the sky searing purple flames into a maelstrom, and at the bottom where the coffin lies arises a small but scorching sun. The entire deep purple vortex seems to light up, emitting a shining yellow from the bottom to the top. Everyone near the bonfire backs away. The flames suddenly bear warmth, nearly burning them. The rising heat dissipates, evaporating even the stream of sorrow. Perhaps a miracle is about to occur, is the only thought on anyone's mind. A miracle, one I have no choice but to accept for Tara. Is this the parting gift you prepared for me, sister? Eblana is undeniably dead. She cannot answer. Lakshmi tries to recall their hug, expectations met, a pinch of warmth, and cold calculation. What were the proportions of each in that embrace? Or maybe all those things were inseparable to Eblana. You're right, Eblana. If this was your ultimate goal, if you insist on laying this blood-stained crown atop my head, then yes. Slannabhale. Until death, we shan't meet again. flaming vortex exhales and dissipates. The red dragon, the one who led the Tarans through the long night, steps forth from the statue's center towards the entirety of Nasayoshi. Her expression is blurred by flame, yet her figure is as solid as the ever-persistent life on the land. One step, then another. Her feet step over the coffin still burning in purple embers. There's no body within, only the familiar flame-spewing spear of the leader. The crowds hold their breath, and the square falls silent, as if they stand outside a hospital's delivery room, perhaps a cemetery, after the last shovel of soil has been heaped into a grave. Only dancing flames remain, without rest. I can forgive everything else you've done to me, Yablana, but not this parting gift. Never. From past to present, your name will sink into oblivion, alongside the countless names who built Tara. The only red dragon of Tara will be Lakshini Dublin. I have returned. The red dragon who led you in the fight against Victoria, in the fight for independence and freedom. Lakshini Dublin is back from the abyss of death. I died to quench the flames upon you all, but the rain of tears you shed for me extinguished that fire, allowing me to return from the abyss. Literal Jesus, except it's fake? Fake Jesus? This time, though, I will not drive you to your deaths. Our grand undertaking is complete. Never again will there be cause for countless Tarans to offer up their lives and leave us only ruins and wailing. I pray with all my heart that every Taran will be able to curb their own flame. Flames that came from slavery, from oppression, from humiliation, from sorrow that never died out, not for thousands of years. I neither need nor expect you to forget. I only hope that you can do as our ancestor did, and let those flames become your lamp. A lamp that first warms yourself and then illuminates the past for us all, so we can truly laugh, sing, and live in our homeland. A bright yet gentle light. Okay, I did see it kind of going this direction of like, somehow, Reed ends up taking over. While the crowd is still mulling over her words, one of the residents suddenly cries out in pain. Why is the burn on my hand suddenly hurting? Wait, the colors of all your lamps. Even my own changed colors. Yeah, imagine, they've been like fucking hurting themselves each other, now they're suddenly gonna feel it all again. These are the lights the red dragon hopes you will carry to warm yourselves. Purple fire belongs only to the dead, yet we unwittingly let our own flames be dyed its color through overwhelming death and loss. We mistook that fire for a blessing, allowed ourselves to be dragged toward the abyss. If the red dragon hadn't killed herself tonight, and we hadn't managed to return her flames, we could have all been dead by now, turned into walking corpses. To extinguish the flames of death in ourselves. Said that's why she killed herself? The sense of guilt that had crept up on Nemos after the purple flames vanished leaves her unable to reply. She only nods slightly. Then she feels a sudden chill on her face. There's a drop of water. Nemos lifts her head and looks at the distant night sky. More look up as the damp raindrops pelt their faces, gently washing their tears away. It is raining. A terrible day for rain. Rain CG. On Samhain's Eve, the rain falls, heavier and heavier. The crowd still remains in the square. They wish to thank the Red Dragon for returning their lives, for separating life from death. But the dragon tells everyone she'll remain here until everyone returns home to rest. So the people gradually disperse, and eventually even the wakemen and refugees bid goodbye to the dragon. They worry that some of the dead, who have not returned their fire yet, will gather around the ruins, although that worry is unfounded. By the time the sun rises, no longer will there be any wandering dead in tar and soil. Amidst sobs, Nemos bids goodbye to the dragons as well. The next day, she will wake up early to collect bricks from all over town to make a new door for Cullen's workshop. The huge square empties out, leaving only a red dragon and a nomad. Where are you off to next, Bridget? Not sure there's anywhere to go, really. All I've ever done is pass on messages to report on oncoming catastrophes. I think they'll replace my job, though. What are they called again? Catastrophe messengers? There've been less and less of us nomads anyhow, so I guess I'm glad someone will carry on the work at least. You should try contacting Rhodes Island. What's that? Pharmaceutical company. They're good people. I'll have to look for their headquarters. It's a land ship. I'll write them a letter tomorrow, hoping you could deliver it for me. I think you'll like the place. But for tonight, you ought to rest inside the fort. Can't have you sleeping in a tent with all this rain. Let's head to the Citadel gates first. Horse. Rhodes Island propaganda. The two of them slowly make their way towards the Citadel. The downpour continues, and the fire on the sculpture is nearly extinguished. Only a faint flame of indistinct color flickers in the dragon's eye sockets. They suddenly hear a voice from behind. Stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary, I'm telling you. How can someone forget their own bet? True. Is there someone still in the square? That invisible brother of mine. He made a bet with me. Invisible? Don't turn around, Lakshmi. He's a wee bit awkward, that one. Not a fan of being seen, I'm sure. Looking at the flickering flame in the dragon's eyes, Naruthiach recalls a time centuries past, when Eilil was still a lad with a cracking voice, while his own beard had just started to sprout. Maigred, the Exquisite, was promoting everything Victorian in the royal capital, and ultimately even banned a favorite custom for Taran commoners, placing bets. That day, Labriatha had exploded in an argument with his mother, at an unprecedented level of rage. Afterward, his mother had ordered him to fast and reflect, but Eilil sneaked into his brother's bedroom with a big piece of steak for him. The brothers blew out every light in the room and merrily gorged themselves, even licking their fingers clean. Enough stubbornness. Soon everyone in the capital will be a Victorian, Eilil said. Labriatha stroked his still soft beard and merely shook his head. He asked, "Then why not make a bet with me? Once Mother's gone, not a soul will willingly continue pretending they're Victorian." "Fine," Eilil replied. The older brother burst into laughter. "What's on the table then? But make a good wager. Why not the crown? If you win, I'll never set foot in the palace for the rest of my life." "No, I'll wager anything but that." Eilil had refused. It was I who insisted on having it my way, half as a joke and half hungry for a gamble. Nearly put him in tears, didn't I? Yes, because Eilil was always the type to give in. He'd definitely agree. And so in the end he said, "Right, if you go, then never come back." Afterwards I ended up leaving the palace, wondering for years as Eilil spent that time unhappy in the capital. I heard that after losing half his men in the court, Eilil was controlled by not even Victorians, but Taran nobles speaking with Victorian accents. You lost, Labriathach. No matter how homesick you are, you spent far too long on this family visit. Not to mention you're just a pathetic shadow cast by firelight. Man, you have your own road to walk. No more breaking promises. Right, just like that. Take out that purple fire from the stab wound on your chest. And now return it to the dragon who walked the same path you did. The exiled king's face twists from pain, but nevertheless he extends his arm bit by bit toward the eye of the skeleton. Ugh. Let's see, Eilil. Is this your blades? Can phantoms feel pain? Can they shed tears of anguish? Or is it merely the rain dripping through him as his body fades to nothingness? He can no longer tell. Perhaps the flame of your good descendant here. Abriathach. Lakshmi snaps around, but there's no sign of anyone else in the square. Only the purple fire in the red dragon's eyes. Flares up a split second before the rain extinguishes it completely. He was what the fire.
100年経っても
Oh, I
きっ
got
と
the
誰かが
medal.
この火山に目を向けているはずですよね。彼らの歩みは私たちの足跡に重なって
Story repeated
火
countless
山灰に
times
埋もれた
is
種
what
は
becomes history.
もっと美しい花を咲かせるんです。
Fucking yapping? Aya? Don't let it revive 3 times? Yep. Wow. Terribly difficult. No really special needs. Do you want to do that anyway? Just before the mother engaged the dark mist. Why don't we have a narrator for this one? Just before the mother engaged the dark mist, the wakeman of the woods came to remind her that she had yet to do that which was most important: hold a proper funeral for her daughter. The mother had intended to fight the dark mist to the death, but tears began to stream down her face when the wakemen sang their ancient song, and she chose to follow tradition and hold a wake for her daughter. All through the night she cried at the purple bonfire representing her daughter's soul. The downpour of tears quenched the fire burning through the city, nearly extinguishing even the purple funeral fire. When the wakeman once again asked the mother if she would still fight the dark mist to the death, she gazed upon the smoldering bonfire, with tears on her face, saying, "I cannot abandon my kingdom's people." As she said those words, the feeble purple flame suddenly turned bright yellow. Her daughter arose from death and walked out of the flames, and mother and daughter embraced each other. So ends the story, not in fragments, but a true ending. Congratulations, we've pieced together the truth. And what a happy ending. It's all thanks to you. Come, let us toast. Now, write this all down and publish it for... Well, publishing may be a challenge, but now that it's complete. The funeral, the bonfire, the resurrection. You saw everything. Never expected you to find this courage to return to Nashirshi. Singer. What? It was a lovely ending, wasn't it? The Blana departed with the dead, never to return. As for you, your Highness Lakshini, I dedicate this story to you. Whether to publish it, seal it away, or have it fade into obscurity along with the remnants of Dublin like me, is all up to you. Lakshini, by the way. How wonderful. Oh, they were playing cards. I must regret allowing you to belittle yourself with a title like the singer. You... Wait, what? No, Lakshini, you're... Iblana? I mean, obviously it was. The once singer swings his arm furiously, spilling his drink on the table. You're dead. You can't be alive. You were killed twice. Once by spear and once by fire. You shouldn't be here. Or am I dead? Or am I dead? This isn't funny. You're dead, Red Dragon. Go back to where you belong. See, that's it. It was all a lie. You never died. You killed Lakshini instead. It was all a trick, an illusion. If so, what becomes of your story? My story? Have you calmed down? You shouldn't be alive. No. Has death ever been an eternal sleep for me? What I could do with life, I can do with death. I'm a scary woman. Also, he was a feline and now he's suddenly horned. Are they disguises? As a reward for completing the story, writer, let me tell you one thing. All that matters is fire. Purple fire. Purple fire from your story. May seem ethereal, but it is no fiction. It is true that, over the long course of the war, I shared too much of my flame with others and became weak, feeble. But fire spreads, fire consumes, fire grows. After the battle with the Naxera on the Gestrel, needed to take back the flames I had given away, which had been growing on the plains and the ruins in the hearts of the people. He wanted repaid with interest. Taxation is the most basic authority of a monarch. Mundane kings collect blood taxes to nurture their armies, to fight over land and people that will last mere centuries at most. I collect blood taxes to pave a road between life and death with the red dragon's flame, so that all those caught in between will look up to me. The ravings of a mad woman. No doubt it sounds that way to you, for you cannot fathom what happens when enough death to consume a nation is returned to its master. 1,000 years of anger, sorrow, and hatred converged on me all at once. Did you think they would let my flesh and spirit fade away so easily? Slave to hatred, fitting end for you. You've already forgotten what I said in your story. Everyone and everything that thought they could mold me just happened to take on a form I was able to wield with ease. Were I truly their slave, you'd have been ash the moment I saw you. You lunatic. That's why you allowed Wellington to station his troops in the Darkwoods, to blockade the city, even continue the curfew. You're intended to spare Nasirshi. Why, thank you for finally being willing to shed light on the unpleasant truth of the Dark Mist in Wellington. Does the Battle of Silver Rock Bluffs, which you witnessed from the deck of the Gistrel, still haunt you in your alcohol-fueled dreams? Never left you, has it? What else would you be so obsessed with depicting the mist dangling above people's heads, and so loath to define it? Curfew was justified at first. There were still Victorian spies in Nasirshi at the time indeed. Duke of Wellington stepped up the blockade when Lakshmi entered the city, because he wanted to smother any possibility of news leaking about the two red dragons. And the food that disappeared and came back on its own. The brigadier is more than just your most trusted lieutenant. He was also captain of Wellington's Red Steel Guard. He went to ask for supplies. Wellington acquiesced. Wellington simply became disappointed in Lakshmi when she left Nasirshi to seek the Wakeman, that's all. You should thank her, really. You never escaped the woods if Wellington hadn't relaxed the blockade out of disappointment. Okay, right, the mist is the blockade. As for the victory party, you were so afraid to describe. Don't tell me you've really glorified into a fairy tale in your memories. Of course not. After the Dubliners who weren't willing to give up their power, once you took away on a pretext. Swallowed by the dark mist, as you put it, quite literally. Lakshmi still managed to make up her mind and killed you. Wellington didn't follow your ridiculous orders. Suppose I believe that your aberrant purple fire left you a vessel. What do you plan to do with it? Lead an army of the dead to retake Tara? I won't help you. No living soul will. Your dead friends can go straight to hell. Indeed. You were never suited to be Dublin's singer. You cling to what you see and believe. When the two could no longer be reconciled, you chose self-destruction rather than to give up on either. Do you really imagine that everything has gone the way you think? A letter, Your Grace. You may enter. Oh, Duke of Castor. Is it urgent? It's fucking silly fucking face decoration. No, ma'am. But look at the seal. It corresponds to no emblem on record from the past 50 years. Tara? The Duke of Castor scrutinizes what the servant is holding. On the edge of the envelope is an emblem excavated from the dust of history. The young have never seen it, while the old have forgotten it. Only those forced to keep an eye on history remember its source. We are uncertain whether it's the mark of Tara or of King Gale. Never took you for a scholar of heraldry. Not my intention, it is enough that we know what it signifies. To the Duke of Castor. Open it and read it out loud. Not too quickly. Yes, ma'am. There is no greeting. And there was a greeting. To you, Duke of Castor. Your previous letter was received. The response was delayed as the time was not yet ripe. Now it is. From this day forth, martial law is hereby lifted in Nasirshi and the surrounding lands south of the Grey Hills. Extra, extra, read all about it. Martial law to be lifted at midnight across all of Tara. Publishing restrictions lifted. Our community rejoices. Read more on page 2. Finally, now we can call this a proper tavern. Here, with the curfew lifted, you can drink all through the night. Besides, it's my birthday. Drinks are on the house. Really? Sure about this? Enough people in the city to drink you out of house and home. Worry about yourself. Look at you, rich boy, leaving your lamp on in the middle of the day. I'm just so busy I forgot. It's been warm lately, so I've been renovating. Thought I'd take the day off, because I really have been too busy. How about another beer? I've got to get this fatigue out of my system. Here you go. On the other hand, I'm almost more afraid of not being tired. Being tired is how I know I'm still breathing. No, that's not quite it. How should I put this? Living. Yeah, living. You too, ma'am. Here's one for you. Oh, it's you, Emma. I'm sorry, I've got to get going. Off to do your time on the agricultural plate? Yeah. No idea how you managed to smuggle all that food out last year, but I hear you've been paying it off with honest work over there. No need to be shy now. Have one on me. Thank you. She was a smuggler, true. To Livin. To Tara. To... Emma holds the cup with one hand and puts the other in her pocket, clutching the necklace she reclaimed last winter. The words said to her when it was returned come out of her mouth almost by instinct. To all our countrymen who gave their lives for Tara. You're really living, Bridget? Yeah, the burning beasts are calling me from their pastures. Besides, still haven't been to this Rhodes Island that Lakshini wanted me to see. Wanna come with? Maybe if I have the chance? Just sad to think that you're the one who brought us to Nasairshim, but can't stay yourself. It's not that I couldn't, I just chose not to. Like your own choice to stay. Say hi to the Wakemen for me, if they come back to the city. Is that your intuition again? It's not always, right? But I don't smell that burning stink anymore. It smells like fresh buds in spring, dew in the morning. Oh. He's around? Hello, Brigadier. You two know each other? You could say that. What are you doing here? I don't recall anything happening which the Red Steel Guard would need to be deployed for. I'm on leave. Came to honor the memory of my comrades. Scoundrels, to be sure. They fought by my side. If you're looking to take revenge for those who died during our exile, this is your chance. Brawl with a soldier on leave wouldn't be considered an attack on the military. Wasn't you who killed Salmon and the others, not directly. I remember what you did. That's enough for me. I see. What more can anyone ask for than to be remembered? Beltane, also known as the Festival of Fire, is scheduled to be revived in the coming days. Fire passing ritual is starting in Oak Grove County. Oh, this scene. Roughly quiet. Are you nervous? No, it just strikes me that we managed to turn what you'd seen in the books into reality. Last day of spring we extinguished the fires in our homes, and come together to relight them at Beltane, the smoke of the bonfire and drifting ash. Welcome the coming of a new season, and of a new life. Your Highness Lakshini, the lighting ceremony will begin in a few minutes. Alright, thank you. Maybe I've waited too long for this. Feels no realer than a dream. Wanted to sing, Nemos, but you've already sung for me back in Nasairshim. So this time, the flames in my hand will do the singing. One more thing, Your Highness, about Her Highness Eblana. Your Highness, it's time. Sorry, Nemos. You can speak after the ritual. The Draco steps forward. A stone platform, sculpted in the style of the ruins, served as her lectern. She lights the bonfire upon it, and turns around. From the square below her, many faces gaze up with bated breath. She takes a deep breath. 1,000 years ago, the Dracos of Victoria invaded Tara, creating the title of King Gale as an epithet of shame, robbing the nomadic Tarans of their freedom. 600 years ago, the reigning King Gale had no choice but to allow the Victorians to remake the royal capital in their own image. That was a long-ass fucking reign. 200 years ago, the Aslans seized the crown of Victoria, but once again they trampled the dreams of the Tarans beneath their feet, such that even our language was almost lost to us. Now Tara stands on her own. I recite this history of shame not to fan the flames of hatred, but in defense of peace. Sing what songs in Victorian suffice to praise the beauty you see. Tell what tales in Tara will move the passions. Remember so that we might provide the living with the dignity of life, the dead the promise of reunion. Throughout the cold night, we shall retain a warm flame. As such I, Lakshini Dublin, the last descendant of the Taran Dracos. I shall light this fire symbolizing new life. May it guide the way for all, whether living or departed. Enclosed you will find templates for nomadic city immigration forms. Signed, the Kingdom of Tara. This is Tryzyn. The King of Tara has long been one of the titles of the Victorian Emperor. Nothing in this letter denies it. To avoid conflict, the Red Dragon has even indefinitely delayed the coronation so many are looking forward to. But in reality, the indecisive claimant, the corrupt oligarchs, the blockading army, and the flames of dissent, all these issues have been put to rest. For the first time in centuries, they proudly tell a new legend of a King Gale. In the short term, the unrest has indeed been contained within Wellington's domain. With time, however, it can become a greater threat than any insurrection. Tara must not be allowed to secede from Victoria. As long as Wellington doesn't take his entire territory away on a nomadic city, the other dukes and I will continue negotiating with him. Yes, ma'am. I'll draft some long-term plans regarding that. It's finally over. Well done indeed. Thank you. So, what was it you wanted to say about Ablana before the ceremony? We never found her body. She somehow survived. I worry that someday a completely different story will be told about the resurrection of the Red Dragon. What story? That it was no miracle, but the assassination of one dragon by another? Worse than that. I see. I'm afraid that Ablana will return and paint the whole thing as a conspiracy I orchestrated. Our position is not unassailable. We both know that her body disappeared earlier that night, after you killed her the first time. What I dragged through the streets wasn't her body, but an empty coffin. I know. Also know that it was I who used the last spark of fire she left in her spear to ignite the coffin. It was I who left the city to parley with Wellington, laying out our plans in exchange for him delaying military action while they played out. It was I who walked into the fire the people had returned to Ablana. Right, because she was fighting the mist. It was I who walked into the fire the people had returned to Ablana. I who quenched and replaced the fire of death with the fire of life, and I who walked out of the fire in the end. We've known all this since that day on the balcony of Nasir's citadel. Ablana had left us a puzzle with no solution. The only way out was a miracle. A miracle we scripted and directed. If anything, the true Milka was the Wakeman returning to the city. If Ablana hadn't awakened the exiled king, if Bridget hadn't delivered that message centuries overdue, if Morn hadn't persuaded them. Just the two of us, that miracle could never have occurred. So what is it to fear at this point? Ablana has cut off any path leading away from the throne. All I can do is devote the rest of my days to Tara, and patiently await my judgment in some unknowable future. Back here. Nemos was dragging an empty coffin? Lakshmi was planning to resurrect the dragon the moment she first killed you? You're lying, I know, it was Wellington. He had a conscience and lifted the blockade on his own. You just won't give up, will you? The Iron Duke, with a conscience? Hilarious. You promised him that only good could come of your scheming. All I promised him on the Gastra was that I could change the direction of Tara, so long as Lakshmi was willing to return. The Red Dragon who breathes flames of death, the Spectre Force with its dead soldiers, Dublin with its blood-stained hands. Everything was fated to sink into darkness while the Tarans united under the banner of the one and only Red Dragon. Of course, His Grace was unaware that everyone in Nasir was meant to die for the plan, but I knew. City of doomed souls in exchange for Tara's lasting stability. When a good could come of it, no? Shame that the Duke isn't fond of Lakshmi. Things could have gone even more smoothly otherwise. Sophistry. You lied to Wellington. Your plan was anything but harmless. The people of Nasir did live. To everyone's surprise. In exchange for their lives, Lakshmi reached for the scepter of power that she detested so much. She chose to write a saga, a novel, a miracle that should have been beneath her noble dignity. It's something only she could do. Something that wouldn't have been possible even a few years ago. Would you have placed a miracle on the scales from the start? What if Lakshmi had failed? Then you wouldn't be sitting here enjoying your drink. Sure, you've heard stories about what the Iron Duke does to whatever he considers an obstacle. Every story begins with an inspiration. Memories rush into the writer's mind like seawater at high tide. He struggles to break free, only to find himself powerless against the oncoming tide. The Red Dragon. You knew from the beginning. You almost destroyed Nasir. You made a mockery of all Tara. Now, I must object to that. I simply fulfilled a promise. Being true to one's word, no longer a virtue. You yourself admitted that this was a happy ending. No, never. This isn't how the story ends. This isn't how my story's supposed to go. The rider sees a sliver of white. He falls to his knees and crawls along the ground, trying to collect the scattered sheets of paper that had flown loose. 1, 2, 3. He clutches them in his hand along with his pen. No. What would you like to write? Let me help you. No! The rider's shoulders tremble hysterically. Panicked, he begins to back off until his back hits the rickety wall of the tavern. Grabbing his pen like a spear, he begins to stab at the paper. Muttering under his breath, he only manages to cover them with scattered ink blots. Soon even his muttering loses coherence. The commotion causes the drunken barkeep to come up from behind the counter and grab him by the collar. What you babbling about? Realizing that he can no longer form words, the rider looks desperately towards the woman, watching him with disinterest. He points at the woman's hands, then at his own mouth. The meaning was clear. You've lost your words. Perhaps you hit your head from excitement, or had a minor stroke. Or perhaps it's because you just saw something you believed in so firmly, for so long, shattered to pieces. The very thing that inspired you to join Dublin, caused you to stay at the victory party, made you turn back to Nasaishi halfway. But it's time to wake up. With a trembling hand, the rider tries to write on his palm, but leaves only crooked, disjointed lines. You wrote a story for Tara. A complete story, not a collection of fragments. It's a good one, I like it. And I like it even more now that it belongs only to me, not to you. Schlangefoil. Singer. No, writer. Schlangefoil. The last Dubliner. Look forward to the stories you'll tell me when death reunites us. With one last glance at the rider, the woman tosses a few coins onto the table and walks out of the tavern. A memory comes back to the rider. It was the same look Eblana gave him that night, a year and a half ago, when he decided to delay his report after the leader's shadow had already departed, in hopes staying in both sides' good graces, in hopes of. Rhodes, the new Rhodes room. What should I call you then? No, you're not. We are not calling you that. We're not calling you that. We're not calling you that. Whatever you're thinking, I'm only Necress here. Unless you two find a signed sheet of paper to hold no power whatsoever. Operator Necress. If you find the title necessary, erudite. For my part, I'm more curious about your lack of reaction upon hearing the whole story. I've already heard the story. Lapse on my part, I see. First a private letter from Nasaishi, then fragments through official channels. Lakshini's getting better at this. And I presume she's told you all about me, which is why you're willing to sit down with me by yourself and hear out this patchwork tale of allusions and insinuations. No, she has yet to find your body. She's unaware you're in a position to tell stories. That makes your courage all the more admirable. Mustn't neglect to give credit to Lakshini where it's due. She's more than just a qualified dance partner now. She's ready to take the lead. I do hope she enjoys herself. Sounds like you like your new powers. Of course I do. Powers of the dead aren't necessarily greater than those of the living, but they are more lasting and harder to check. But you'll soon grow bored of them, like everything else you've ever had. Followers, martyrs, dominion, status. Life is short, but death is long, erudite. Oh, she's calling Dr. Erudite. There's still so many interesting people in the mortal realm. That alone is reason enough for me to await them in death. So you gave Reed your old toys? Cutting question, erudite, but I'll allow it. Not only because your accusation is astute, if prejudiced, but also because you are one of the interesting people I mentioned. What are you intending? Must everything be done for a purpose? I don't understand. You will, someday. When the tides are up and the night of death descends, you'll be grateful for my presence, As long as I do not mock your predicament. As for right now, I'm simply the shadow of Tara's leader. Just Necress, nothing more. Suspicious woman. Stories. There was like 3 stories inside of stories. It's stories all the way down. Oh, right, yeah. Interesting. Interesting. If it wasn't already this time, if I had more time, I would go read Blana's character files like right away. But it might have to wait. It might have to wait just because first of all, I'm hungry, and I believe I plan to go do some gaming with friends soon. Would very much prefer if they let playable characters die. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's like, so, well, I mean... So, funnily enough, actually, I kind of... So the thing is, I do actually, I think, at least just based on like a first thought here, I do actually prefer like there kind of not really being actually a redemption. You know, like she kind of like, it's like, oh wow, oh she let Reed take over and that kind of stuff. But and then she's like, no. That was like a happy accident. If that didn't work out, shit was gonna go real bad, and I was all for it. Like, she's not really... She's seemingly still... She is not changed. She is still a fucking sycophant. She's still a fucking sycophant. Is that even the right word? What's a sycophant? Never mind. Wrong word. Completely wrong word. Extremely wrong word for a Blana. A sycophant is a person who attempts to gain advantage by flattering influential people or behaving in a servile manner. Not the Blana. That's the opposite of the Blana. You know, she's still like essentially a terrible being. Like, there's, you know, there's obviously some nuance. Obviously, we got a little bit more character here. Like, for example, she's, you know, if nothing else, she's still sort of, there's some form of familial love probably for Lakshmi of some kind. But I'm also just, I'm a little bit confused with some of the motivations. So I guess indeed, yeah, it's just like, she was even kind of playing, frankly, playing the Tarans in general. Like, playing all of the Tarans and playing Wellington. And things were actually far more selfish than, oh, I'll make a world for the Tarans. Purple, I believe that's just a myth. I don't think that's like a real thing. I feel like that's something that's... I've never ever seen a source for that, Purple. I do want to go for the files at some point, for sure. But now I don't have the time now. Wellington does deserve it, that's true. The Tarans, however, do not deserve it. So, like, it's... Essentially, the story is things turned out well, sort of in a stroke of luck, and well, actually not even luck, by also, I mean, yeah, Ablana kind of indeed forced Reed to do things in a way that she would usually not prefer, right? Like, it's not like she doesn't really mind essentially how it turned out. She's actually cool with how things turned out, because seemingly, yeah, like Tara's, what actually happened to Tara and so on was like not even her main goal. Like, she didn't actually care about the result. She had multiple, like, the outcomes could have been multiple and they would have been all fine for her. This one also just, you know, this one was just like, for the rest of for the Tarans, this was the good outcome of what she was doing, thanks to Reed and co. But Eblana was also still completely cool with it going the other way. Yeah, it's something along the lines of just wanting to become stronger by spreading the flame and then getting it all back to her. And she does just ends up being a selfish fucking sociopath. But I almost kind of prefer it that way. It is in a way more interesting. That's the thing. If they try to redeem her and then she joins Rhodes, then you get all the kinds of weird shit, because it's like, then you're in the weird line of like, okay, so you think she's all good now, and you're just gonna let her do her thing. But in this case, she's like very straightforwardly being like, I'm a terrible person. Can I like, but like, will you still be cool? And it's more so Rhodes is like, we might need to keep an eye on this fucking woman. It's like, maybe we need to like keep some eyes on this fucking sociopath. Like this Machiavellian sociopath. Which is more interesting. It's like actually more interesting and actually kind of cooler that you do essentially just have an evil person playable, and they are just evil, and it's very much one of those just like, we're keeping an eye on you. You are only here because it is worse to let you go on your own. So even if it's a terrible deal for us, kind of, it's better for the world. And obviously that's what Rhodes does. You know, Rhodes is not gonna let the Machiavellian psychopath run around doing whatever she wants to, if they have possibly a way of keeping a check on her. Arknights EN status? What did they say? Necras, real name Eblana of Dublin, is the former leader of Dublin, an organization that no longer exists. After careful consideration, Rhodes has conditionally agreed to establish a degree of cooperation with her. Careful consideration, indeed. Yeah, I do want to go to the files and I guess voice lines at some point, and we'll see what it's like. But obviously, also, yeah, indeed, very carefully worded, yeah. Because I think, yeah, it's like some of the line, people are indeed, I believe, some people were molding over the voice lines or something because they're like, they seem to be like pandering, right? But yeah, if she's a fucking manipulating Machiavellian sociopath who finds Doctor interesting for, I mean, probably pre-Civ reasons. Calling him an erudite and everything as well, which is not a common thing to call. You know who else called someone something like an erudite? Or called Doctor or a pre-Civ person by something similar to erudite? Fucking IS-5 ending for Buddha Quilon calling them a Pandita. That's essentially erudite as well. It's a great teacher. A wise teacher. Erudite is very close to that. It's a very unusual thing to call the Doctor. So yeah, I think maybe, yeah, I think it's fun. And yeah, I'm just indeed, I'm actually kind of, I would have been more, I'm not like annoyed or something, but I would have been annoyed if it was kind of just like a redemption. Because then it's like, well, what the fuck was all that other shit for? What, like, because then the motivations and whatnot of doing all that other shit and then like doing this turn at the end would have been like, what the fuck? What is this? Where's the cohesion? We don't get that. That is not a thing. That's not a thing. The cohesion is there. She's a terrible human being. Seemingly. Like, there's a little bit, maybe there's a little bit more nuance to it now, sort of, kind of. But like, no, she's kind of a terrible human being. She could have also just died. Yeah, I mean, either one would have gone. I think I'm about, I don't know, maybe after some thinking more, I'll change my mind. But at the moment, I feel like kind of either her actually just dying and kind of like the storybook being the real way, or then this way is like, they're kind of evenish. Because they kind of both work as well. But yeah, like her actually dying, yes, could have been. But if she died, that would have kind of almost gone into more like the redemption route. And then just, you know, okay, she's playable, but she's dead. So like, you know, that's just like a ludonarrative dissonance thing, which is whatever. But it kind of would have gone more into, because then, you know, sort of it would have been like, oh, Eblana like planned this whole thing of Reed taking over with a miracle, blah, 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 which would be a little bit more redemption-y, in which case you'd get into the problem of the cohesion of, well, what the fuck was all that stuff from before? Well, yeah, now that she's actually still alive and has almost just kind of directly come out saying that, like, I didn't play all of you. I didn't lie to you. I just fucking finessed you and manipulated you for my own gains. Fuck you. I'm gonna go to Rhodes Island and check out this dude I'm interested in. Interesting. Otherwise, just in general, however, a pretty good event. Pretty good event. Pretty nice, pretty good. Stole Reed's job. Also, it is... At what point, when do we get the moment then of, you know, Reed doesn't know she's still fucking around. She goes to visit Rhodes Island, accidentally bumps into Eblana, like... What the fuck? Problems. Problems. Screwed by her sister. Wanted to get stabbed. But yeah, okay. Good thing. We have red. We have red. Nice. And maybe then on Tuesday I'll like... Tuesday might be like a shorter kind of whatever random variety stream. Maybe we'll go through like the Eblana files and stuff at that point. And voice lines. But thank you for coming, thank you for watching, thank you for chatting, thank you for lurking. Early stream today, considering I'm ending right after my usual start time for a Saturday. But I have a good weekend. I will go eat and play some Path of Exile with the boys. Goodbye. Goodbye.